Welcome to the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Touchdown, Braylon Edwards.
Braylon Edwards, touchdown, Michigan.
Running pattern to Edwards, touchdown, Michigan.
Where we bring you the best in sports, entertainment, and insight. Join us every weekday from 2 to 4 p.m. as we break down the latest games, analyze the biggest plays, and dive into the hottest topics in sports. We'll have exclusive interviews with your favorite athletes and guests, and you'll get a front row seat to all the action. So tune in to the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Got one-on-one going end zone. Edwards in the air. Oh, what a catch by Braylon Edwards. His second touchdown of the game.
On the Woodward Sports Network, where sports comes to life.
Comes to life? Yeah, so did football. Football came to life last night.
Football is back.
Really excited to talk to Braylon about last night. Had some comments during some text chain between the friends last night, and it was pretty entertaining. Ryan is with us. Kool-Aid is here, of course. Welcome, everybody, on a Friday to the Braylon Edwards Show. Glad you're with us on Woodward Sports. Some good news out of Lions camp. Dan Campbell says both Mekhi Wingo and Khalil Dorsey are physically ready to go. And I saw this quote earlier today from defensive line coach Casey Rogers. And he was talking about Christian Mahogany and Tate Ratledge, two guys who you've given us some good insight on. He said, I've seen a lot of guards in this league. Now, this is the defensive line coach for the Lions. Yeah. I've seen a lot of guards in this league. And those guys, they kind of embody the grit, toughness, and hard work. They're really impressive to me. I know it's a coach on their own coaching staff. What the hell are they going to say, right? They're not going to sit there and dog these guys. But that's kind of fun to see an opposite line coach talk about two young guards like that when we've got so many questions.
Yeah, no, 100%. He doesn't have to talk about these individuals. It's not his job to talk about these two individuals. Yeah, he's doing this because it's true. He's doing it because he's seen it all camp long. It's much like when you have, Penei Sewell speak out about Tate Ratledge, or you have the opposite side. You have the defensive lineman talking about how good Tate Ratledge has been and what he is going to be to that team. It says a lot. Because Casey Rogers has been coaching his guys up for the better part of the last 5 months to be able to contend with this offensive line. So he's seen the growth from the time that they got here, Christian Mahogany working with him, to when they drafted Tate Ratledge, put him on the squad, on the roster in April, and rocking and rolling. He's watched it. He's seen their growth. He's seen how they move. He's seen the positions that work for them. And he's seen how his guys have been against him. He's got some guys on that defensive line. So to see those guys in action and this be the comment, it lets you know that he believes in what these guys are doing. He believes that Christian Mahogany is going to take the step from last season. And he believed that Tate Ratledge was a good draft pick and keeping him at right guard maybe.
I was thinking about you last night while watching the game and wondering what the level, that next level, we always hear the phrase, got to take that next step. It's kind of a cliche, but it's true. Right. What is the next step depending on the position you play? So, for example, I'm thinking about the guards. Yeah. What would be that step for them? What will they have to get used to more than anything else, even though we've seen them both a little bit in the preseason?
I think for Tate Ratledge as a rookie, it's just to be consistent in terms of knowing the responsibilities, knowing the assignments, get comfortable with the adjustments, get comfortable with, little chip things. I think when you're a rookie, you start to focus on just appreciation. You'll focus on just the guy in front of you sometimes. Just the guy in front of you. I'm working on this guy. But as it evolves, cool, I can get to him. Can I help Penei on this side? Can I get a little chip here? I started knowing things on helping out at the center and Graham Glasgow, starting to do a little bit more, starting to be able to take on more. That lets you know that he's settling into the position as a right guard, and also he's starting to settle into the position as a professional athlete in the NFL. And on the other side, for Christian Mahogany, he started 8 games last year. He played in serviceable games last year towards the end of the season. So we saw him. The next step for him is to prove that he's right, to prove that he can take that next step of left guard to where you're not worrying about what happened when you're pulling. We talk about the pulling guard. We talk about how important that was last year to Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. You're not worried about him being a weak link. You're actually worried about him taking, not worried, but you're excited that he's taking that next step. And that next step for him is to be a consistent guard in there. Kind of like Jonah Jackson. It started off implementing Jonah Jackson in the left guard. He's working next to Frank Ragnow, who's a Pro Bowler at the time, All-Pro, as well as Taylor Decker. He got to the point where you didn't have any questions about him, any concerns. Also got to a point where he made the Pro Bowl and he got paid out in L.A. So I think that's what Mahogany's next step is. Not necessarily the Pro Bowl, but where he's a serviceable member and you're no longer trying to ask, do we need another left guard and what's up with that position?
Yeah, let's hope he comes through. Just for clarification, he played 75 snaps last year, Christian Mahogany. He played 7 games, started 1. That doesn't mean you don't have somebody who is there who doesn't have experience.
Yeah.
But it's still a growth period. At what point in your career, and this is a hard question, I'm sure, but at what point in your career did you look at it and go, you know what, now it's quote-unquote slowed down? We hear that all the time from professional athletes, but I do believe it's true. And I believe there's something that you can recognize in another player when it has quote-unquote slowed down. When did it do that for you?
It slowed down for me in year 3. Like we talked about, I had an injury.
Year 3, really?
Well, I had an injury at the end of year 1. So year 1 injury, I tore my ACL in December, spent all year rehabbing to get back. You come back in that next year, and it's still the mental part of, am I ready? Physically, I'm ready, and I played the whole season. Had 860 yards, 65 catches, and like 7 touchdowns. But it's took me the whole season to be able to trust my body. It took me the whole season to be able to mentally wrap myself around, this is it. I'm back. I feel comfortable again. That 3rd year is when I took that comfort of the whole offseason. I found myself at the end of year 2, took the whole offseason to prepare that way. Now I prepare with the confidence that, I belong here. Not only do I belong here, I think I can make some noise here. I took that confidence, took film study, and I took the things that I needed to work on, practice, felt good. And then we started rocking in 2007. Like, I saw the plays as they were happening. I knew where I was supposed to be. When they were calling plays, I'm already looking at the adjustment potentially. Oh, shoot, I know they're going to play cover 2, so this post route is going to be dead in the water. Let me see how I can affect on just clearing my man out in cover 2. How can I be effective to work for the tight end in the slot? When you start thinking about things like that, it's really when you take yourself out of the equation. Like, when you take yourself out of the equation is when you start to have success at the next level.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
I would never have thought that. Never. Oh, it's cover 2. There's no way this post route is working. So I'm going to do what's best for the other guy on my offense to try and make sure. Would you be the first read, the second read? When do you decide that? How do you relay that to the quarterback? Or he's already noticing that too, you would think.
He's already noticing it too, but it's my job to see it as well. And it's my job now that I see it to operate and such. I can see it and do a BS route just because I saw it. But when you actually affect players, when you actually affect a safety and a corner, now you create a lane for the tight end. You create a lane for the slot receiver on the seam route. It's like helping your team out. And I think that's when you see the growth is, I don't just care about what I'm doing in the offense. Mm-hmm. What's the whole concept? What's the X receiver doing? What's the wide receiver doing?
So you know what all of them are doing?
By my 3rd year, yeah.
Okay.
First year, I say what you want to. I didn't care. Like, what does Z receiver do? That's my position. I want to make sure I'm locked into what Braylon Edwards has to do.
Could you play all 3 receivers?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's another reason why you had to, of course, know what each one is doing on every single route.
So I got lucky. I played Z at Michigan. So that's the receiver that's off the ball, usually does the majority of the motion in the 2 receiver set. I played Z, and then in year 3 in the NFL, he moved me to X. So I already knew Z, played X, and A is a variation of Z, if you will. So, and just growth, paying attention.
It's fantastic.
Knowledgeable.
Man. Yeah. See, when I hate it when people try to tell me about football players being rockheads or athletes in general.
You said being blockheads?
Blockheads.
There was a certain
the biggest bullcrap I've ever heard. It is so deep on what you have to know and how you have to freelance, quote unquote, like what you were just talking about.
Here's a lob. Is Jalen Carter a blockhead for last night's undespicable act?
I don't know if he's a blockhead. I think he's selfish. I thought it was a stupid play. Doesn't mean that, I would cut him, gosh darn it. Absolutely not. Don't be an idiot. But I'm surprised that he would act the way he did so early in a game, knowing how important he is and knowing what Troy Vincent sent to every single team in a video recording of what the NFL is clamping down on. Whether you like it or not, that doesn't matter, okay? We can argue all we want. I've argued forever that Angel Hernandez should not be behind the plate. It didn't matter. When he is, you have to adjust. You may not like the rule, but it's the rule. You know the rule. You broke the rule. I hope you're ready for the penalty that comes. And I think that what I've loved learning from you in just a short period of time, is football is the ultimate team game. I need you. I may not like you, but I need you, and you need me when we're on the field, right? That team needed him.
Yeah.
Now, Dallas didn't take advantage of it like I thought they might, and Philadelphia's deep, but what he did was a selfish, immature act, period. Nobody can defend it.
Let's start here. For those of you who, as soon as that action happened last night, instantly went to your text or you went to your Twitter, or you went to your social media and you posted the following. That's why the Detroit Lions didn't draft Jalen Carter. You would absolutely be lying and you would be a moron, because I guarantee you in February you were not saying that when he was hosting Lombardi. And you were not saying that in 2023, his first season, when he was a wrecking ball and made second-team All-Pro. So for those doing that, pipe down.
Yeah.
Now let's get into what he did. This is egregious. Is a stupid act. Like, you've been in the league 2 years, and this team took a chance on you. Let's call it a spade a spade. They took a chance on you, and what happened in Athens, Georgia, right before you got drafted, they wrapped their arms around you and other Georgia players. You found a home. You found a way to be yourself. You found a way to work. They've done nothing but be right by you, and then fast forward, you win a Super Bowl. So now you're an experienced veteran. You're one of the best defensive tackles, if not the best defensive tackle at your position in the NFL. You already have the experience. You already have
One of the best players on their defense.
100%, if not the best player. Like, you're already in there. What he did yesterday, it cost his team. And you saw the direct effect. You said they didn't take advantage of it. They didn't take advantage of it enough. Because on that very first drive, what did they do?
Yeah.
Very first play, followed by the second play, followed by how they got in the end zone. Javonte Williams right up the middle.
Shoved it up their throat.
They ran it right at where Jalen Carter was supposed to be.
Right.
And you instantly realized that was selfish beyond belief.
Mm-hmm.
Even he knew on the sideline it was selfish. Yeah. Even some of his Georgia guys, they had the camera on, whether it was Jordan Davis, who had to fill his stead all
did a
game.
good job.
Did an amazing job.
Yeah.
He was the first rounder 4 years ago, so we get it. Yeah. But you can look at his teammates. Nolan Smith did something else stupid. Maybe there's something in the water in Athens, Georgia, but it just doesn't make sense to be that when you've had 2 years, and also how you got drafted. Like, it was a dumb thing. Now,
even with him being baited, too.
All that stuff. No, I don't think so. $75,000. The thing that I think, one, why didn't Dak Prescott, like, you spit on me, I'm sorry. There's consequences.
Dak Prescott didn't spit on him.
No. If you spit on me, there's consequences. Dak just took it and pointed to the ref like, my God, did you see that?
Well,
did you see him spit on me?
Maybe he's more disciplined.
Also, but see, I don't like that, because Dak did something yesterday, and I'm not going to say it's a cause and effect, because I don't believe that what Dak did should have got the response out of Jalen Carter. That's not what I'm saying. I saw Dak spit in Jalen Carter's direction. Well, yeah, landed about 2 yards.
Are you talking about that right there?
He was walking.
He had
towards
two huge offensive linemen in front of him. So I'm not going to. I'm not. You know this better than I do. Athletes spit all the time.
Don't start.
But what about the smile right there?
They do. And he may have been looking at him, but he spit in the ground. He didn't spit at him.
I disagree.
Okay.
It's fair to disagree. He looked in his direction. This is Dallas versus the Eagle. He is one of those individuals. He knows how to be smooth. For all the credit that we give him at the podium and all that other stuff, because we give him credit, you also got to give him credit. He's sneaky. Dak Prescott is a sneaky player.
That a smile at the end?
Yes, he did that on purpose. And that's why I said it's not supposed to get you to spit back on him. That's not supposed to be what happens. But that's what happened. The first thing was Dak spit in his direction. Like, yeah, we spit all the time. We don't spit in people's direction.
Okay. I think when you have 22 men on the field and you're near a huddle.
Yeah.
And it's not like I'm a huge Dak Prescott fan. You're near a huddle. If you're looking for something, you'll find it. Okay? Oh, my God, you're spitting my direction. Now, so what if he's smiling? Who cares? So let's just read into every single body language and every single thing every single guy does. If you did that, you would have brawls and ejections and fines on every play.
I disagree, because you don't see people spitting on people all the time. But last night, he spat on him. And I'm not saying it was warranted, because it wasn't. Yeah. It wasn't. Like, Shep, let's call it a spade a spade. That man looked directly in his direction and he spit. He could have spit wherever he wanted to. In fact, he could have spit behind the line of scrimmage where he was at. He could have spit to the left or to the right. But he chose to spit directly in front where Jalen Carter shouldn't have been, but he was. He stoked him.
Yeah, like I said, he's got two massive offensive linemen in front
and that's
of him.
Why he did it.
So, okay, which also tells me, if I grant you that, it also tells me how weak-minded Jalen Carter truly is. If that's what's going to
Right.
to set you off,
Yeah.
then you're weak mentally, I believe.
I feel you. I don't know how Jalen Carter's grown up. I don't know if he's had a situation in his childhood where somebody spit on him. And maybe that stoked a different emotion. I don't know what that is. What I do know is Dak Prescott had 120 yards worth of field, and he had 54 yards worth of field going left and right. He chose to spit directly in the path that Jalen Carter was lined up. That's all I will say.
Yeah, I think what happens is we like certain guys.
Yeah.
And you like Jalen Carter. You wanted the Lions
I
to
said
take
what
him.
he did was egregious, though.
I know.
I started there.
I know you did, and I give you credit for that. But I think you're also looking for a way to understand why he did it. Because Dak Prescott is not necessarily a favorite of just about anybody.
Shep, you
know?
got people declaring that they are weak in this chat. Denver Blair says, then I'm weak then, man. F this.
So somebody doesn't spit at you.
Right.
So Ryan's there. If I happen to spit right there, it would be toward Ryan's direction. In that case, Ryan has every right to come out and confront me.
If you guys are on the field and you got all this space, then why spit where he's like why even spit in that way?
I
feel that,
think
Brian.
what you guys are doing is you're taking that aspect of what was the most egregious and the most penalized thing. You're making it about Dak Prescott, and it's about Jalen Carter.
And I believe quite the opposite.
Yeah.
I believe that you think that we're trying to do that. We're trying to make it sense for Jalen Carter because we don't like Dak Prescott. Right. I'm just simply looking at the facts. I'm looking at all this space. I'm looking at all this, and I'm looking at a man spit about 3.5 yards from in the same direction.
So if that's the case, Dak Prescott should literally leave the huddle,
right,
run over to the numbers, spit there, and then run back just in case so nobody gets offended wearing a Philadelphia uniform.
Have you ever been in an NFL huddle? Like, legitimately, I move guys out of the way all the time. Yo, watch out. Spit. Jump. Let me get grabs of water. Like, let me get a drink of water. The huddle is not some sacred space. Like, you guys are moving and shuffling and jiving. Like, you can tap and spit. You don't have to go walk towards the line of scrimmage and spit where your opposition is. Most notably, a player that is talking, bleep. Like, come on. Like, I'm not making an excuse. I'm not making this excuse so it makes Jalen Carter look better. I don't care what happens to the man. He don't play for the Lions. He don't play for the Jets.
All right. I mean, we're not going to agree on this. Plain and simple, we're not going to agree on it. We've seen guys throw up in the offensive backfield, okay? There's some things that you just sit there and you're like, you spit, that's the way it goes. Guys are puking. I don't think that warrants anything, okay? You're making eye contact and you spit. Maybe there is some disrespect there, but I just know that there's so little tolerance on Jalen Carter's part. And look, to his credit, he apologized to his teammates. What else is he going to do, right? Said it's never going to happen again. You try to give him his word. If you're his teammate, and you got away with it because you won the game 24-20, but if you're his teammate, don't tell me you're not pissed off at him. Don't tell me you're not like, you know what? You better grow up, dude. You better figure something out because we're trying to repeat. Jalen Hurts played his ass off for that game, and I thought he was really good. Now, I'm pissed that he only targeted A.J. Brown once. Why? I have no idea, but I digress.
But therein lies the question in what you were talking about, too, why they don't move Jalen Hurts up into the conversation of top 10 quarterbacks. Because when you say top 10 quarterbacks, the first thing they value is the passing element. Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson just happen to be so damn good at the run that it just is what it is. You have to take that into account. That's what they place where they do. Yeah. But Jalen Carter Jalen Hurts, he's a great leader. But if I'm Jalen, we're having this conversation on the show, and we can about Dak. If I was Jalen Carter's teammate, I'm not having any conversation about what Dak did. Like, if I'm his teammate, I don't care what happened. What I care about is what you did, and what you did was unacceptable.
Right.
I think it's just more of second guy always gets caught. A little bit of a vet move.
I agree.
That's true.
Vet move from Dak. He gets one of the run stoppers out of the game. Like, I just thought it was a vet move. Dak knew what he was doing.
I don't know if I can go so far as to say Dak Prescott spit and knew Jalen Carter's reaction was going to be.
I think.
Okay, I don't know if this was a plan. I don't know if this was a movie script on the part of Dak Prescott. But I do believe. Look, how many people jawed at you as a defensive back? Probably more than anybody. Okay, it was a pretty consistent thing. You've got to be pretty damn mentally tough to play wide receiver in the NFL, knowing those corners are chirping on a regular basis.
Yeah, but also I've seen this, and that's why I know that I know the little move he did. I've been at the line of scrimmage, and you have a little back and forth with insert DB here, Marcus Trufant, Champ Bailey, or one of those guys, or even Detroit, when I would have freaking Louis Delmas come to the line of scrimmage. I don't know why they would ever put him on me in the slot.
I know,
but
especially because he's a safety.
He's a great dude, though. I love Louis out of Western.
Yeah,
but when you get the line of scrimmage, you get some jaw jacking. You have guys spit those seeds out. Like, everybody's chewing sunflower seeds on game day and in the meetings. And when you get guys spit those sunflower seeds in front of you, I know not to spit on them.
Yeah.
I know that the next move isn't spit on you because you hurt my feelings so bad.
Right.
But I know there was some disrespect there, but we'll handle that between the lines. That is that should be the mentality.
You would hope, but
Yeah.
you see it in baseball quite a bit. A batter spitting seeds. He'll spit towards a pitcher on occasion. I
comes
don't
the
know
heat.
if that means chin music. Okay,
Yeah.
I really don't. I suppose it depends on the individual. I just think when you're a Jalen Carter, when you're that instrumental, I think it's really important, and I mean really important, to try, and it's got to be really difficult. There before the grace of God go I, all right?
Yeah.
To try and hold your emotions, harness your emotions. When you are that important to a team that has those types of aspirations, even if you didn't, you've just got to be, you got to take a breath, man. You got to be better than that, period. Okay? Just like CeeDee Lamb's got to be better than, instead of the drops, 4 drops. I was thinking about you on the one pass. Somebody called it a drop.
The dive.
Yeah.
At the end of the game on third down on left sideline.
Yeah, was it third down or fourth down? Third down?
It's third.
Get that photographic memory.
Was that's not a drop? Do you consider that a drop?
The only reason why they called it a drop is because he had 2 big drops before that. So now you added on to it. Like,
Compounded.
the first one was clearly a drop. The second one changes the complexity of the game.
Yeah.
That post route that hits him right in the chest.
Yeah.
Those were drops. And then this is just like, well, there's another drop. That would have been a ridiculous catch. But it's a catch that he's a $32 million man. He's made that catch before.
Yeah.
You've seen him make that catch before. This is what I wrote down from the game. These were the points. These were my takeaways. Jalen Carter. And then Dallas, they went right at him. Javonte Williams, they run right up the middle. So Dallas's first drive was direct result. Jalen Carter, boom. That looked great. Here we go. We have a game. We're coming to play. Eagles, they respond. The Eagles respond, and they kept responding. And they responded.
With big plays. A lot of big
plays.
Yeah.
Most notably to your guy, Jalen Hurts. He's the one stepping up in the pocket, finding runs, fighting Saquon. Saquon in the second half with that one-hand catch. But they responded, and so they were able to keep Dallas at bay. CeeDee Lamb and the drops. Like you just mentioned, CeeDee Lamb and the drops were major because they weren't just like Jeremiah Smith, who had drops at Ohio State against Texas. They weren't 5-yard drops. They weren't quick slants. They were drops that would change the shape of the game.
Do you know who leads the NFL in drops since 2020?
Yeah.
Somebody making $30 million.
CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah.
He's got 35 drops since 2020. Would you have thought that?
Yeah,
Really? Okay.
because they're throwing the ball to him 200 times a game.
Yeah.
I mean, not a game, but 200 times a season. So
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't. That one kind of surprised me a little bit. George Pickens had a big drop down the sideline too.
Yeah, he
But-
did. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he got bailed out by a couple personal fouls, but I mean not personal fouls, but pass interferences. But
Well, the one was absolutely a pass
Yeah,
interference,
100%. And
and
he still
they didn't
almost
call
caught it.
Yeah, and he still almost caught it,
Yeah.
but they didn't call it. That was they literally grabbed his shoulder pads from inside around the neck area. I couldn't believe they got away with that.
let me ask you your thoughts on this. What do you think about Brian Schottenheimer and his play calling? Because he had some success with Dak early in the game, just running the ball in the absence of Jalen Carter. Then all of a sudden he gets a little bit pass happy, and they don't score any points in the second half.
Yeah, I can't. Every time I see the Cowboys now, and every time I hear about Brian Schottenheimer, I think of Braylon because Braylon knows him well. It was Braylon worked with Brian Schottenheimer. I first of all, I thought Dallas was ready, which I thought was really important. Okay, they surprised me.
Yeah, me too.
They were ready. Okay, they were physical. They were welcoming to the whole environment. They got after it. So I was really impressed with that. And the play calling, we can. When I talk with friends of mine while we're watching a game and they start talking about play calling, I said, I want you to tell me what you would do in this situation.
Right.
And then, but I want you to have it ready for me within 25 seconds. Because that's how quickly you've got to get it in. So when somebody says, what did you think of the play calling? Sure, I like a balance. If something's working, why would you go away from it? If something isn't working, do you give up on it? It can be a double-edged sword, right? I thought his play calling for the most part and the balance, I thought it was pretty good. Okay? I know it didn't result in points in the second half, but I thought it was pretty good. Maybe I have low expectations for him and talking about the Cowboys. So maybe I was easily impressed. I'll give you that. What'd you think of it?
I thought it was typical Brian Schottenheimer. This is what I've learned from him through my time at the New York Jets.
Yeah.
Like he goes away from what works. We played the Pittsburgh Steelers maybe 5 games before the season was over, 2010. Had a really good game plan against them, executed well. Shotty put together a hell of a game plan. I think LaDainian ended up with 90 yards. I had 110. Santonio had about 70. Wow. There was a really good game plan. We managed to we controlled the clock. We got a bunch of first downs, kept ourselves on the scoring side of the field, and all of a sudden, out of the blue, we played them in the AFC Championship, and he changed the whole game plan. Changed the whole game plan to the tune. We didn't even convert. I don't think we got to the red zone until the last drive we had, and we converted on the 4th down. But he did the same thing. He had success running the ball up the middle with Javonte Williams. Stay with that. Where was Jake Ferguson last night?
Yeah, there was a target in the end zone that he was hit, and then they got it down there.
Stop trying to get the ball to so many different people. He did the same thing. There's what works.
Yeah, Ferguson had 5 catches. I don't know how many's enough. Okay, and I don't think it.
Right.
I don't think you can. I can't combat your argument with stats, because what we would have to do is watch the game, which would be a delight, because I'd love to know what you're thinking so far in advance, and try to figure out from there. If you have, on paper, if you have 34 passes and you have 32 runs, and you're successful at both, you would think that would benefit you, right? I mean, they outrushed Philadelphia, did they not? Okay. So I believe they did. Maybe I'm wrong there. Maybe Philly had more. No, Philly had more rushes. Philly had more. Okay, yeah, 158. Saquon Barkley didn't have that many. Dallas had 32 rushes. They had 34 pass attempts. And, I guess neither was super successful. 119 on the ground, about 190 through the air. So maybe I'm wrong there.
He's going against Vic Fangio, who's one of the best defensive coordinators in the last 25 years. But, Vic made the adjustments at halftime. That's typically what I've seen by Schottenheimer-controlled offenses. When people make adjustments at halftime, there's nothing to follow. And I think he adjusted to him, and then he tried to get cute and find Turpin and, Tober, and he tried to get these extra guys involved. Your studs are George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah.
And fired them up. Now, CeeDee let him down, and I definitely can contend with that.
So, and again, numbers can't really combat what you're talking about. So this is why I wanted to precursor to that. CeeDee Lamb was targeted 13 times. Yeah. That's pretty good. That's trying to get a guy involved, don't you think?
I do. I think it's too much, though. They went away from what was initially working early, and they tried to force feed a guy. Look, I understand CeeDee Lamb's one of the best wide receivers in the league, but if it's not his night, it's not his night. You got
but you just said your studs are CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. You got to get him the ball.
Well, yeah. What I'm saying is they went away from what worked initially. What I said was stay with what worked. The Javonte Williams run the ball, clean in the middle, and then from that, now here's a play action to Jake Ferguson. Now you can get involved.
Would we be talking about this if Dallas lost? Because if you look at Philadelphia, you and I both agree, A.J. Brown's one of the best receivers in football.
Yeah.
You said it about 4 weeks ago when you had your top guys. He was targeted one time and had 1 catch. Is that not blatant malpractice by an offensive coordinator or by a coordinator at all? The only guy who was targeted a lot was Dallas Goedert, and he had 7 targets and 7 catches, by the way.
Yep, and I forgot to start him yesterday, so that's on me. No, what I was saying.
Thank you, brother.
Therein lies that. Thank you, Devontae Smith, for that performance yesterday, if you will.
Yeah, only 3 catches.
Yeah, but as it relates to A.J. Brown, that's the Eagles. That's the Eagles. How many games last year did A.J. have 2 catches or 3
So I
catches?
shouldn't have picked him in fantasy is what you're telling me? That was a bad pick?
I'm not going to say that.
Judas, man, I'm going off all your top 10 wide receivers, and I'm taking A.J. Brown.
I said top 10. I didn't say it with the situation. How many times? We were literally sitting here at this very desk and all around the country talking about A.J. Brown reading a book on the sideline. Yeah. Talk about him not getting involved in games. Talking about Jalen Hurts and him in the back and forth. And he still won a Super Bowl in which he got involved at some point. So that is actually who they are. But as it relates to Dallas, That defensive line was really good in the absence of Micah Parsons on the interior.
Yeah.
Some of the guys they brought over from Green Bay, I thought that was really good for them. But I don't know. I just feel like Brian Schottenheimer, he went away from what was working. He tried to force something, and I've seen that out of him before.
Is that preconceived on your part because you've seen it before, or is that something you honestly observed last night?
Some I honestly observed last night. How many points they scored in the second half?
None. Philly scored 3, but didn't score any.
Understood, but
Yeah.
I was talking about Brian Schottenheimer
I
more
get it.
so, kind of than anything.
Yeah.
But like Philly has this way of controlling the ball. Philly has this way with Jalen Hurts where it doesn't look pretty, but
Yeah.
they're still in the league, if you will. You know what I'm saying? It's weird.
Yeah, it is a little strange. Of course, the cameras went right after Jerry Jones afterwards, which drives me up a wall. Did he really allude to we were one defensive player away from winning that game? Did he say that in so many words? Did you guys read into that the same way I did? Where I'm like, are you kidding me? That is absolute nuts. Knowing that Micah Parsons is now in Green Bay. All right, when we come back, we'll continue to talk football with Braylon Edwards. Really excited about this edition because it's really good stuff. Michigan and Oklahoma, 2 schools to square off in Norman, Oklahoma tomorrow night. It is just the second all-time meeting between these 2 programs. Would you consider them blue blood college football programs? We'll get to that when we come back from this message of Ben Johnson.
Justice means different things to different people, but for Ben, that's right. He's my guy, Ben. You need to get to know him like I do. Ben, justice means everything, and he can get you the justice that you deserve, whether it's a settlement, whether it's a trial. Ben Johnson wants to fight for you. VenFights.com. That's how you reach him. That's how you get the information. Ben Johnson Law. They are tough, tenacious trial attorneys. That means they want all the smoke. So you got to let them represent you. Get your case, get your information, and what you do is you want to reach out to Ben and let him fight for you. Get that justice you deserve, and you can only get it with Ben Johnson Law.
Looking to upgrade your relaxation game? Check out Massage Chair House in Bloomfield Hills, Michigan, the largest massage chair showroom in the Midwest, located near the corner of Woodward and Long Lake Road. Experience luxury comfort with Dr. Eric Duncan, the Wellness Doc, creator of the top YouTube massage chair review channel. Book a visit at www.massagechairhouse.com or scan that QR code. Massage Chair House, your ticket to ultimate recovery and relaxation.
Planet Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new face. New focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
Every Sunday, there's only one place to get all your kneecapping, hard-hitting Detroit Lions coverage. Start your Sunday with the Lions Weekly Report with Broder and Terry Foster. Then, the Lions pregame show with Neil Rule and Sean Belizean. At kickoff, keep it locked in for all the emotions of the game with a live watch party with the heavyweights. Then, recap the game with the Lions postgame show with Anson. Game days, there's no other place to be than Woodward Sports. Live all game day. Go Lions. The Tigers are the best team in baseball. Get the best coverage in Detroit right here on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. Every Scooble start, every green homer, and all the action can be followed on all of our social media. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. It's World Series or bust, Detroit, and we are here for the ride. Woodward Sports. WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com.
Where your fitness is essential with over 50 metropolitan Detroit locations. Planet Fitness is the gym for you, man. Look, there's the home of the judgment-free zone. That means nobody judging you. Nobody is judging you. They're allowing you to walk around, do your things, march to the beat of your own drum as you're working out. Also, the gym isn't for just normal routine goers, man. It's for novices as well. We want you to come to the gym. We want to learn with you. In fact, we got trainers for that on staff. So come on into Planet Fitness. Gyms are clean, the trainers on staff, and then there's no judgment. Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
And then you'll feel even better when you do drink Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. There's no guilt trip whatsoever, Planet Fitness. There's no guilt trip when you're drinking Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea and watching Woodward Sports Network. I'll tell you why. Because Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea has real vodka. It's got real iced tea. There's no bubbles. It's clean. It's crisp to the sip. It's really tasty. And it's only got 100 calories. 4.5% alcohol, too. So whether you're getting ready for Michigan, Oklahoma, Michigan State, BC, Lions, Packers, maybe tonight it's Chiefs and Chargers at home, you're having some friends over, nothing better on ice than Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. This season, let the good times cruise with Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea and Woodward Sports, and please drink responsibly.
Hey, we back.
Hey. Blue Bloods, I love not the TV show with Tom Selleck. I'm talking about Blue Bloods as in the greatest programs in college. We use that with college sports probably more than anything, don't we, Braylon? Blue Bloods. If I asked you the Blue Bloods of basketball, I'm sure we would agree on most. Now, what the criteria is a really good debate, all right? But usually it's about success. It's about championships, too. I've always said for a while now, UConn belongs in that conversation in basketball. Everybody kind of limited to Kentucky in no particular order. Kentucky, Duke, North Carolina, and
UCLA, Kansas.
In Kansas, primarily. I think Connecticut belongs in there. Never lost in the national championship. I think UCLA belongs in there. Some would argue Indiana might be a little bit of a stretch.
Syracuse.
Would it be Syracuse?
I don't think so.
I'm not sure I could quite go that far. I mean, would you go Villanova?
Nova, Temple.
Would Michigan State be included in that?
No.
No? Because?
They only have 2 titles.
Okay. How many does Villanova have?
They have 2 in the last 15 years.
Yeah. They have, I believe, 3 overall.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Okay. 1 in the 80s.
Indiana under Bob Knight had 3, right? So,
Michigan,
they got a lot of wins, man. I mean,
it's tricky, though, because they weren't originally. It's like Magic Johnson and Greg Kelser, and what that team did, they started something, they created something, and it disappeared a little bit. And then you bring in Tom Izzo. Tom Izzo wins in year 4, 2000. He wins with Mateen Cleveland, the Flintstones, and then he's been playing almost ever since. So it's like, are they a main staple? Hell yeah. Are they a main staple? Yes. Are they a blue blood? I don't know.
Yeah, it's a really good debate. Yeah. I mean, considering 9 Final Fours, since 1960, you've got the 21 Sweet 16 appearances.
Yeah,
I think they can definitely make a case. Okay, if part of the argument, and again, this is where the debate lies, and I'm all for it. If it's 20 wins or more, then they're in there. I mean, they've got 20 wins or more 29 times.
Yeah.
In the history of their program. So I get the whole national championship, 79, 2000. But if you're going to put certain other teams in there, again, depending on how big you want that club to be, then they probably have to be in there.
I think for a while, Blue Bloods were winning every 8 years. I think that's kind of what the Blue Blood was. Every 8 years, they were going to win a chip. Kentucky, every 8 years, they were going to have one. UCLA, what Wooden did alone. Kansas, every 8 years, they were going to find them. Like, they were very relevant, very, very relevant in terms of winning championships in each decade. In each 8 years, that's what the Blue Blood. UNC, like every 8 years, it was going to be some special player. It was going to be, and it was also the storied coaches too.
Agreed.
Like they had the coaches, whether it was, John Wooden, whether it's Duke and Coach K, whether it's Dean Smith and UNC.
The longevity of
the
those
longevity
coaches.
And winning kind of turns it. Oh, if you want to go further back, Adolph Rupp and
For
UK
sure.
when he started, 100%. Coached by Pat Riley, so amongst others, but. Yeah, I think they go hand in hand.
Okay,
I think they go hand in hand
because I would think Michigan State qualifies there too with their longevity of their coaches and Judd Heathcote before him. Not Gus Ganakis before Judd, but you understand my point.
Gotcha.
If it's UCLA, It's all about John Wooden, though.
It is John Wooden.
Okay?
John Wooden and what the one they had in 95. Yeah.
Right.
Toby Bailey and those guys.
So where have they been? I hesitate, but you can't ignore what John Wooden did, who's, by the way, one of the finest men, would have been one of the finest men you've ever met. I went to UCLA when I was calling Michigan basketball. I got a tour of the UCLA campus with John Wooden.
That's awesome.
He's the guy who walked with some of other people around. Great pictures of that.
2003
awesome
Rose Bowl in L.A. Coach Carr had two people come speak to us. One was Charles Woodson. The last person was John Wooden. He came to speak to us at Beverly Wilshire in December of 2003. And he gave us a great speech, great pep talk, and that's when his pyramid, the book.
Yes.
So he was talking about the pyramid, he was talking about the books. He had a couple stories about some of the most notable players to bring you in, whether it was Lou Alcindor at that time, whether it was Bill Walton. All that, and we still got beat by 14. Sorry, John. Sorry. We're sorry.
It didn't work.
It didn't.
Sorry.
I heard it, though. It was great insight. I just couldn't turn it over.
Did you get a pick with him?
No.
Oh, okay.
Like it was one of those situations where he was so frail looking.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even want to make the ask.
I get it. I totally
Gerald
get it.
Ford, same thing. That same year.
Yeah.
But
Wow, that's pretty cool.
The spring ball.
Yeah. A lot of knowledge, a lot of experience from all those people. So if you looked at the blue blood from basketball, I wonder how you parlay that into blue bloods in football. We don't really have that discussion. We don't think about blue bloods in hockey. There's not enough teams, right, to talk about Denver and Michigan and BC and BU and North Dakota. But those would be some of those. In baseball, we know it's usually SEC, led by LSU, and we know it's Florida State, and we know it's sometime Oregon State. Thanks Adley Rushman and some of those guys. But when it comes to football, with Michigan playing Oklahoma tomorrow night at 7:30 in Norman, just the second all-time meeting between the two, it got me thinking. I think most people would consider them blue bloods in football. Who would be your blue bloods in football if you had to pick?
Michigan. And we can argue about that later. I'm more than ready because I understand a lot of people out there disagree. I think wins alone. And anyway, Michigan. I think Oklahoma. I think they're just a name. They have a lot of promise, and obviously they haven't won since 2000 with Bob Stoops. But what Lincoln Riley and what Stoops were able to do at the end of. But anyway,
they got their second all time in Heisman Trophy winners.
100%
with 7.
They have the Heisman courtyard, but Oklahoma. Michigan,
courtyard.
They do. It's like all the statues.
No,
I
know. You're 100% right. It's a great poll. They also have 50 conference championships. No one has more conference championships than Oklahoma. So I think you're right about that.
Oklahoma, Texas, Michigan, Ohio State, Bama, Georgia. Not Georgia.
I was just going to say, you put Georgia in there? I don't know if I would.
Not Georgia. USC.
Okay.
USC becomes like USC. I like Miami. But I don't know if they're a blue blood. Miami's all their history is like later, but
I was just wondering because
that
was one era that I wish I got to see was like prime Miami because I liked
Florida
watching the documentaries on them.
But to his point about basketball, if you're a blue blood, doesn't it have to be just a little bit more consistent than what Miami has done, especially as of late? Would you throw Texas in there?
I said Texas.
You did? Okay. I'm sorry, I missed that. Would you throw Notre Dame in there?
Yes.
Okay.
Like they're like the OG. Like realistically, Notre Dame is. I hate saying it. Hate saying it out loud, but
it feels dirty to say.
It feels grimy. Like it feels all types of grimy. But I think Notre Dame is the original blue blood, if you will. If that's Kentucky or Kansas in basketball, then rightfully so. That's the Four Horsemen. That's Newt Rockne, the whole BS and blah blah blah. But yes, Notre Dame for sure.
I would. Part of the reason you pick Notre Dame is because 7 Heisman Trophy winners. That helps. They have more NFL draft picks than anybody in the history of the sport.
Yeah. And
they have more All-Americans than anybody in the history of the sport. Going into I believe this last draft, maybe it was after this last draft. I wrote it down somewhere. 332 all-time NFL draft selections and 109 All-Americans. That's really impressive. Okay,
would Nebraska be one?
So that was my last question to you.
I knew it.
Would Nebraska be part of it? Because since they've gone to the Big Ten, they have been basically
abysmal.
A non-factor, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Back in the day, Tom Osborne, incredible. But, and this is more Big 12, obviously, than Big 10, because they don't do it in the Big 10. 46 conference championships is still second all time. When Nebraska, and I'm going to sound like old guy here, when Nebraska and Oklahoma clashed, well, that was special for me in the Big 12. I loved watching I Am Hip. That was the name of a guy, believe me, quarterback. It was unbelievable, number 6. I loved watching those types of battles. It was the closest thing I felt to Big Ten country was when the Big 12 pitted Nebraska and Oklahoma. I thought it was an unreal battle between those two programs.
Yeah, I was very disappointed when Nebraska left the Big 12. Just a person that knows the history of the conferences and all that, I knew they wouldn't be able to recruit. That's part of the problem because they no longer recruit in Oklahoma and Texas. That used to be a mainstay for Nebraska. The thing with blue bloods, and I think this is where it kind of comes down to, whether you're talking basketball, whether you're talking football, you can't create new blue bloods. So blue blood is a dead term.
You're right.
It's really a relative term. So all the people that were grandfathered into the blue bloods, essentially like Nebraska, like Oklahoma, like schools that haven't done squat in a while, it doesn't matter. Because just like UConn is struggling to get into the blue bloods, meanwhile they run 5 national championships in the past 25 years.
Pretty damn good.
I think UConn should be in there.
In the last 30 years they won 5 national championships. Yeah. They won't open the door for a new blue blood. Like you look like when I said that about Georgia, you like, they got Herschel Walker, they got 3 national championships, but you're like,
yeah.
I think that's.
But they're probably in it. You're probably right.
You can't create new blue bloods. Yeah. Like so, if one of these teams that let's say SMU is trying to, if they have success in this new playoff format, you won't be welcomed in. TCU could win 4 national championships in the next 10 years. They're not going to be a blue blood.
Gotcha.
Like the door is closed. Florida State, where do they lie? Florida State, and Penn State.
Yeah, I was talking about this with my son last night. He did mention Penn State, and I went, really? You think so? He's like, well, now that I think about it, again, how wide open is the door for blue bloods to be welcomed?
Penn State football is Michigan State basketball.
Ooh, I like that comparison.
Wow.
I like that comparison.
That's an interesting comparison.
I just don't think a blue blood should just be that the term blue blood should be thrown around loosely like that. I feel like it should be a little bit of an exclusive, not exclusive club, but you can't just throw someone who's won 4 championships to your point in 10 years. You can't just, if they do that for like 30, 40 years, then throw them in. But you can't do it for just a 10
So
year
history.
span.
Yeah. History is a large part of
isn't it interesting? There's more college basketball programs than there are college football programs, and we have fewer blue bloods in college basketball than we would in football.
Yeah.
From what we just named, anyway. The last one I had for you, the Florida State's a really good one. Or actually, I think Miami over Florida, but it's a really good one. All 3 of those schools probably feel like they deserve some recognition. Now, Florida State's been a while, right? I mean, if we're going to go back to Bobby Bowden, I mean, that's a bit of an issue. But
2013.
That's a good team.
That's true.
They snuck one.
Yeah, they snuck one.
Famous Jameis.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Jimbo.
Yep. What about LSU?
I love the program, but what was LSU in the 60s and 70s and 80s?
Why you look at me when you ask that?
I feel like you have more readily available information.
He wasn't looking at me. Shep, he wasn't looking at me.
No, I wasn't looking at anybody on the right side. No, but like, what was LSU back in those times? Like, I don't know. My former wide receiver coach played for them in the 70s, Terry Robisky. But I don't know what they were then. Like, my first recollection of really what LSU was kind of the late 90s into the 2000s, and then here comes 2003 and a guy by the name of Nick Saban. That's kind of when LSU got on the map for me, and since then we know the history. Every coach that has coached the LSU since Nick Saban has won a national championship. Yeah, which is crazy, by the way.
It is.
Les Miles.
They're that's really wild. 65.5% winning percentage all time at LSU. That is 14th best in the history of college football, and I believe they're 8th in NFL draft picks. So again, it depends on what your criteria is. I think those help the cause, but to your point, I mean, you got to win. You got to win national championships in order for you to be a blue blood. You can win as many conference titles as you want, and you can look good on Saturday afternoon, and you can have cool uniforms and have some really good players. But if you're not holding that ship, as you mentioned, at the end of the day, are you truly a blue blood? The answer to that is probably no.
And I think the difference between LSU and Alabama, if you look at it, because they both have national championships in the last 25 years. Actually, they both have a lot of national championships in the last 15 years. But Alabama, back in the day, that's when it started. That's the original GOAT. That's the original hat.
Yeah.
That's the original hat. Paul Bear Bryant. Like, that was the guy. So now you have that history, and now you bring it into, they sucked in the 90s. You know, when they had Sean Alexander. They lost to Michigan, thank you. But they had Sean Alexander. And then 2000s, they pitched their way around. 2009, insert Nick Saban, and the rest is history. LSU doesn't have that backstory. They don't have that history to carry them into 2003 to now.
I've talked to those who have more experience, older guys, right? They get a little frustrated with the Alabama Bear Bryant example because they used to carry 120, 130 guys on their roster. And they would be able to pick from basically the cream of the crop and keep them away from other teams, other schools.
Until they play at USC.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And my argument to them has always been, well, I mean, go win and maybe you can get some of those guys.
Yeah.
I mean, was he breaking rules back then?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know if he was breaking rules. They had so many damn scholarships it didn't matter.
Right.
Right? But if other schools could do the same thing, what difference did it make?
They would have done the same thing.
They just did the same thing. I mean, they were just better at what they did. I think it's a pretty interesting conversation. We'd love to hear from you in the chat. It'd be great to get some of your thoughts. Maybe we missed a thing or two, and maybe you have something in mind that you feel should also be part of a blue blood in college football. The blue blood in getting you a vehicle, Les Stanford. There's no doubt about it. He's one of the best there is. That dealership, led by those people, treats you like family, and they give you incredible deals. Like, look at that. The 2025 Hummer SUT EV, $599 plus tax. You got the 2025 Sierra double cab elevation. It's $169 plus tax. You got the 2025 Hummer EV SUT, $699. It is a beautiful ride, and it's comforting to know you get great service, you get really good people helping you out, and the inventory is beyond belief. Go to lesstanford.com today.
And I told you it was still summertime out here. Jack's Car Wash. Also, we can get you a free.
He's still
car
quick,
wash.
man. He is still quick.
Ladies and gentlemen, free car wash. Text WSN to 888-522-1729. Look, Jack's is the car wash for you. The sun is shining right now. Wouldn't you like to have a car wash? Head down Woodward and head downtown. I know I would. That's why I am. Free vacuums, free compressed air, free mat cleaning. The whole works, man. And we're trying to get you a free car wash through Jack's. Also, it's the unlimited plan. Sign up for the unlimited plan, $29.99 a month to get your car washes every day. We don't just say it because we're blowing smoke. We say it because we're using Jack's Car Wash today.
Planet Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new face. New focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon. Braylon Edwards and Shep Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you. Every Sunday, there's only one place to get all your kneecapping, hard-hitting Detroit Lions coverage. Start your Sunday with the Lions Weekly Report with Broder and Terry Foster. Then, the Lions pregame show with Neil Rule and Sean Belizean. At kickoff, keep it locked in for all the emotions of the game with a live watch party with the heavyweights. Then, recap the game with the Lions postgame show with Anson. Game days, there's no other place to be than Woodward Sports. Live all game day. Go Lions. Hunting season is almost here, Detroit, and your Lions are on the prowl. Make sure you're locked into Woodward Sports for all the Dan Campbell reaction reactions, Jared Goff touchdowns, Amon-Ra first downs, Penny pancakes, Kirby picks, Gibbs big plays, and of course, Jack Fox's leg. Stay locked in on all your Lions coverage right here on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. Ever wonder what goes on inside the game?
Deep ball's got a man and got him. Touchdown, Braylon Edwards.
Join Braylon Edwards and Shep.
Edwards has it. 10, 5, touchdown.
On the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Barr looks in zone. Got Edwards for the touchdown.
Where they dive deep into the heart of sports. Weekdays from 2 to 4 p.m., they're bringing you expert analysis, exclusive interviews, and a fresh perspective on the sports you love. Don't miss it, only on the Woodward Sports Network. The boys of summer are ready to get back to the playoffs, and there's no better place to get your Tigers coverage than Woodward Sports. Join us all season long as we follow as our hometown Tigers claw and fight. Feel the roar with Woodward Sports. The Tigers are the best team in baseball. Get the best coverage in Detroit right here on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. Every Scooble start, every green homer, and all the action can be followed on all of our social media. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. It's World Series or bust, Detroit, and we are here for the ride. Woodward Sports. WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com.
The Injury Insider, you can join him on Tuesdays with Big D Injury, or you can see him on our show on Thursday. Not only is he the doc, not only is he the Injury Insider, he's just a great guy, man. You want to be a part of him, or you want him to diagnose you, get you right, figure out what's going on, whether it's your shoulder, your neck, your head, your back, your knee. Am I describing myself, or am I describing you? Yeah. Michigan Sports Inspired, man. Call Dr. Jeff Pearson. Trust me, he takes all calls. Staff is always on duty. Try to make sure they get you right. 248-426-9944. Again, that's 248-426-9944. Or scan the QR code above my head.
Here's what I really love about this place. We deal with really good people. You know, Dr. Pierce came in yesterday, had a good time with him. Buddies showed up last week, gave us pizza. Missed it today, unfortunately. But also, that's a joke. Sharon's Heating and Air Conditioning are fresh on board, and we're proud that they're part of this network and proud of the partnership that we have with them. And I know that because they've been doing what they do better than anybody else for 40 years in Metro Detroit. Reliable service, friendly service, treating you like family, fair prices. Here's what they do. They take care of heating, cooling, indoor air quality, water heaters, whole home generators, and memberships as well. How much do they value you? This is how much. If you're a DTE gas customer, you get a free furnace tune-up through December 1st. Perfect timing, right? It's going to start to get a little chilly. It's a little chilly today. Not all that bad. We're tough in the state of Michigan, but it's going to get chilly. So call Sharon's Heating and Air Conditioning today, 734-238-3839. That's 734-238-3839. I hate it when hosts say the number so fast that you can't get a chance to write it down or type it in your phone.
Was that a shot?
It is a shot. But if you do have a phone, you can just look at the QR code above me, and you can use that too and tell them the Braylon Edwards Show sent you. It's not a shot at you.
Hey,
it's a shot at some others. Yeah. I do want to get your thoughts on Michigan, Oklahoma. Before we do, when we were just talking about Blue Bloods, I was talking with Ryan and Kool-Aid while you were out, and I said, if we think championships matter most, then we have to understand something when it comes to college football Blue Bloods.
Yeah.
And that is that nobody, and I mean nobody, has more, and I know what people are going to say and they're right about it, nobody has more than Yale.
Yale?
Yeah. Yale Bulldogs.
Yale has 18 championships.
Yeah.
I know. They're
Yale?
They're all when, they were like 12 teams
in the 20s.
in the world.
30s, 40s, 50s.
Yeah.
Michigan's got coming those, so that's why you see I shut up.
Yeah,
Hey.
the last one was 1927. Okay, Alabama's got 16. Princeton has 15. Notre Dame 13. Michigan 10. Ohio State 9. USC 9. Harvard 8. Oklahoma 7. Minnesota with 6.
Yeah, that's when they had what, Red Grange?
Minnesota.
Not Red. Who did they have?
I don't think it was Red
It
Grange.
was not Red. Who was
Red Grange was Illinois.
I got
Right?
Red. So it's not Ben Usman. That's Michigan.
Yeah.
It's one of the legendary old school 30, 40 running back. It'll come to me.
Yeah. 1960 it wasn't Bronco Nagurski.
Bronco Nagurski, 1960.
Right.
Yeah, there we go.
1960.
Because there's a statue of him. My brother played in Minnesota, and when you go to Minnesota to their Schembeckler Hall, if you will, there's a huge statue of Bronco Nagurski in there, and that's why I'm seeing the statue. I'm like, okay, which player was? Right, it's Nagurski.
1960 was their last championship, but still 6. Would you have known that?
I would not have.
That's
known
a little surprising, isn't it? I think it's surprising for a lot of people.
Only because that's one of our rivals, and like it goes back to the Brown Jug.
Hold on a second. Minnesota's not your rival.
Well, in terms of the sense that we have an award,
the
Little
trophy
Brown
game.
Jug, which is the oldest trophy in college football.
I know, but when you say rival, I mean, come on. You're giggling your ass off as you say that. They're not a rival, bud. When you dominate a series as long as Michigan has against Minnesota, that is not a rivalry.
Well, shoot, in that case, then Michigan Ohio State's not a rivalry.
That's not true. Michigan has the all-time lead, and look at what they've done recently. Obviously, you know that.
That's what I was talking about. I was being funny. I was talking about what we've done recently. It's not a rivalry, and then what they did in that 20-year snapshot. You know,
that was terrible. I don't even want to think.
I can talk about those days now because we're on top.
I'm just saying.
We didn't talk about it in the mix.
When you said that, the smirk on your face was hilarious. I don't know if that was funnier or you getting quick to get back to the live read was funnier. So you get Oklahoma and you get Michigan. I think it's really cool because nostalgic-wise, I love that kind of stuff. I like seeing historical programs play one another. I want to see it more often. What I scheduled in the first week of the season, hell no. But I want to see it more often. What do you think will be the atmosphere there? You're not going. You're going down to Florida, I believe, but you're not going to the game. What do you think the atmosphere will be there, and what do you think about the matchup 15 against 18 overall?
Man, Shep State put my business out there, man. I like it, though.
I'm sorry.
No, it's cool.
You're a wanted man. I mean, people want you everywhere, okay? So you're
dead or alive, as the song says. Yeah. No, to start off, I think this is a great matchup. Like, I'm excited. When I first found out 2 years ago that they were going to play Oklahoma, I liked it. I love the idea of going down to the Heisman Courtyard and being in Norman and Boomer Sooner and kind of see what the buzz is about. You know, they're one of those teams. Whether they're good or not, their name still carries weight. You know, so I thought that was good. Talking about this particular rivalry, I like it. It's a great chance for Michigan, 15 in the country, wherever you rank them, to go down there with a freshman quarterback that looked pretty good in his opener and get a win on the road and start off the right way. And I like this matchup for Michigan. I understand it's Norman. I understand what they did with Mateer, the quarterback, throwing for 392 and 3 tuds in the first game.
Yeah, he looked pretty good.
He did. I mean, same thing with Bryce against New Mexico. Like, you know, who you playing with. He has experience. He has 3,600 yards the year before that, 26 touchdowns. So he knows how to throw the ball 100%. But for me, it's going to come down to a couple factors in this game. Can Brent Venables win a big game? These are just the last big games that Brent Venables has coached in as a head coach of Oklahoma. Here we go. Mizzou lost by 7. LSU lost by 20. Ole Miss lost by 8. South Carolina lost by 26. Texas lost by 31. Don't feel bad. We understand. We lost the same. Tennessee 25-15. Arizona 38-24. Oklahoma State 27-24. This is just going down from last year, inching back to 23, inching back to 22. He does not know how to win a big game. Defense was his calling card. It's what got him hired, got him the job. I haven't seen that defense yet out of Oklahoma. So I think that bodes into Michigan's favor. Say what you want to about Sharon Moore. He has gone to the belly of the beast twice, came out with a W. He's gone to Happy Valley, came out with a W. He's played against Alabama, came out with a W. So whatever it is, he knows how to get his guys prepared to play in a big game, big moments for them. So I think that bodes to Sharon. But we're going to see these two quarterbacks. We're going to see what Bryce Underwood can do. Now, this will be a true test. This will be the test for Bryce Underwood. Do they allow him to do those same things that you raved about, throwing from the 20, throwing backed up when it's 3rd and 14, or letting him throw the ball over the middle of the field in this game? We will learn about Chip Lindsey and what he feels about Bryce Underwood tomorrow night.
Oklahoma has already decided to make a change on their offensive line. They averaged 3.2 yards per carry. They had 103 yards. That's it in their opener. That's a problem, especially against Michigan.
Two freshmen guards on that Oklahoma offensive line to start tomorrow night. Keep an eye on that.
I think that's a big one. All right, I really do. When are you convinced? In other words, you mentioned the quarterbacks, and rightfully so. And you and I talked earlier in the week about Texas and Ohio State and their quarterbacks and so on and so forth. I guess my question to you is, you said this will be a big test for Bryce Underwood. He's got a lot of big tests this year.
Yeah, every game is a test for him.
When do we know? Because I'm not convinced yet, because I try not to get too high, and I sure try not to get too low, okay? Like, for example, with the Lions and Packers this Sunday, I am not going to find a ledge and jump off if they get beaten by Green Bay, all right? It's one game. It's the first game of the year. That's just not who I am. I'm not going to overreact. When are you convinced with Bryce Underwood? Will this be one of those proving grounds for him because of the defense and the atmosphere, or what?
See, I think I'm already convinced with Bryce Underwood. Okay. I think there's a different level of conviction, if you will. I'm convinced that Bryce Underwood is it. I saw enough in that game and enough with Chip Lindsey and what they did in that day, how they saw that game, how they called plays, how he made plays. Struggled a little bit here and there. That's to be expected. He'll get better at that. But I was convinced at that. I was convinced that he would be a quarterback that will play 3 years as a starter, that will eventually be a first-round quarterback. Now, the level of success throughout the years, I don't know what that looks like. This game allows him to take a step towards being a special freshman quarterback, a special starting quarterback at Michigan. Right now, he's a good freshman. He's a good freshman. This game can give you some implication on if he's a special freshman.
This is kind of a loaded question. Do you expect them to win?
Yes, I do.
Why?
Because I think they're better. I think they're better coached. I think they got a better man at the helm. I'm talking about Sharon Moore. I think Bryce Underwood is it. I think everything that
Justice Haynes is it too.
100%. Yeah. So I think the team as a whole, I think they're a better team. I think the offensive line and Justice Haynes, you add that into it. And I think it's Wink Martindale. You got Wink Martindale, who was in his 14th season as an NFL coach when Arbuckle, the offensive coordinator for them, was born. He was already cooking with grease. So I just think that Michigan is a better space than Oklahoma, and I think this is the chance for the country to see it.
If they don't win,
right?
I know it depends on how it looks, but if they don't win, what's it do to you?
It makes me take pause on this season. It makes me take pause on to where I am, because right now, what I am with this University of Michigan Wolverines team, like I think they're 10-2. I believe they're a 10-2 team. Okay. I don't see this as a loss.
That's your expectation.
That's my expectation with this team. I think they are a 10-2 team. 9-3. I take that.
The two losses might be what?
Ohio State and a random one.
Ohio State at home. And what was the other one?
A random one.
Oh, a random one.
A random one. I don't know.
One that's going to come up and nip them.
I don't know if it's Washington and not being prepared totally for what they're going to be, assuming they're as bad as they were last year.
Okay,
I don't
hold
know
on a second. But you got done praising Sharon Moore.
Yeah.
Okay. How would they not be prepared for Washington?
I'm not saying it's because you go in the game sometimes and you lose. I've lost to teams that we were better than.
Yeah.
We just looking to the next team.
It's really hard to go undefeated.
The trap game, things just going awry.
Those are real, aren't they? Trap games are real.
And the perfect storm of things. What happened throughout the course of that week? What was going on with the focus? School, which they don't even go, but school, focus, and things. What is the focal point? What happens through that week? We lost to Iowa. Iowa's always a good team, but they weren't that good my sophomore year, my junior year. We lost to them because we were worrying about Ohio State, and we were so focused on Ohio State, who was the number 2 team in the country, who was coming off a national championship. We knew we were going down and beat Iowa. Iowa wasn't better than us. Stubbed our toe. We were looking at other things. We went down there and we lost the game we shouldn't have lost. So it happens. I don't think that's on Sharon Moore. I mean, how many times I saw Urban Meyer go to Purdue and lose to Purdue?
Yeah.
and Iowa.
I'm with you. Yeah.
So I think some of the times those games happen, and I think this is a season. This isn't 21, 22, 23, where they're going to win every game except maybe. This is a season where I can see a slip-up game and then an Ohio State game.
Well said.
Yeah.
If you get a win like this, what do you think it can do for a team? Because that's a tough place to win first and foremost. We do know whether they were ranked 25th to start the year. Who cares? I hate the preseason rankings. They're ranked 18th right now. I don't even know if you know that, okay, because of who they just beat. However, we do know that they've got talent, all right? So you go into that environment against a talented team and you come out with a win, that's got to springboard you into something.
100%. I just talked about what Sharon Moore has been able to do on the road. I talk about some of the most notable places where he's gotten wins, whether it was the Horseshoe, whether it was the Whiteout in Happy Valley, gotten wins, whether it was Alabama. Now to go down to Norman, Oklahoma, we talked about it. Look, they may not be Oklahoma with Jason White winning the Heisman and Dan Cody and who do we draft here? It doesn't matter.
Sean Cody.
Well, no, Dan Cody was the defensive end for Oklahoma. Sean Cody was the defensive end for USC. Yeah, that's who we drafted.
That's right. Thank you.
Right.
USC. Yeah.
But
along with Dan Owens. Yeah,
there's
that's right.
still a name. There's still a brand. It's still something when you have to play at 7:30 at night on a Saturday in Oklahoma where it's going to be 100,000 people, 100,000 crazed fans, the night air. It's the game of the week. You have all that on the game. It's still something for a head coach like Sharon Moore to go down there and be able to coach his guys to a win. It's something for an 18-year-old quarterback who just turned 18 less than 10 days ago to go down to Norman, Oklahoma, and put on a performance like he did last week. Like, you can take that to the next game against, well, they play Central, but you can take that for the rest of the season. We went down to a ranked team in a storied area, a storied college city, and we got to win. And it looked good. You can take that with you the rest of the year because that momentum, it's not like fans who are like, man, that Oklahoma team isn't good. That's not what the players are going to say. The players are going to say, we prepared, we listened to coach, we went down there, we handled business, we came out, we went back to Ann Arbor, and we celebrated. Who's to say we can't keep doing that? That's the type of energy that win to give you.
What are you saying about Central Michigan? You saying that my
alma
mater won't be able to handle it?
I had two brothers that went to Central.
They're up there now.
I had two brothers that went to Central. He knows that, so I got nothing fire up chips. I'll be up there September 13th. I'll be in Ann Arbor.
There's going to be lots of runs in that CMU Michigan game. I'll tell you that right now.
A lot of CMU runs? Not if they're behind the chains, there won't be. They're going to be forced to throw it. If there's a lot of TFLs, then you're going to be forced to throw it. It's 3rd down and 13. Unless you're deep in the shadows of your own end zone, you ain't running it. You're going to have to throw it, aren't you?
Yeah, you would think, but based on some of that San Jose State game last weekend, they still ran the football. But to your point, Braylon, I think that loss for Michigan, that unexpected loss, I think comes in USC or Nebraska. And you kind of look at the historic. Now it's not Pac-12, Big Ten anymore, but historically, Big Ten's going to Pac-12 and vice versa. The away team normally just loses. It's just kind of how with the travel and everything. Yeah. And then you look at Nebraska, you have baby Patrick Mahomes and Dylan Raiola and what Matt Rule does in his 3rd year. That's a tough place to play. And you even look back at 2021 when Michigan went in there when Adrian Martinez, Scott Frost, a game Michigan should have lost, and Nebraska was like 3-9 that year.
Yeah.
And I think that's where that loss comes from, is Nebraska or USC, that unexpected loss that you're not expecting. They shouldn't lose, but they end up losing.
That's a very good point. 21, they go down there.
Yeah.
And Eric All caught the game-winning touchdown. Yeah. And K. McNamara, Eric All, they connected game-winning touchdown. Yeah, it's an environment. Lincoln, Nebraska, it's 102,000 strong. It's real. When you play in these environments,
it's a cool place to play.
That's when you get these fans involved. That's where fans come in handy. Like, fans can create that home field advantage. It gets loud. Trust me, playing in Wisconsin, like, I never feared Wisconsin, but I feared those fans. Because when the 4th quarter starts, and we all know what I'm talking about, it gets crazy. And if you're in a position in that game where you're not at your peak when the 4th quarter starts and the defense is out there and they're driving,
I mean, it literally feels like that place is going to fall apart.
Because it is. Kent Round Stadium needs some
it is. It can be intimidating, but it is kind of a piece of crap.
Yeah.
Winner takes a toll on that stadium.
true.
So does jumping around.
Yeah, and
it
jumping
takes a toll.
around.
The only thing I would say to what Ryan said about Nebraska, I don't care what happened in the past. What matters to me is the team right here and now. So just because they should have lost to Scott Frost and Adrian Martinez, last time I checked, neither one is playing or coaching.
No, not anymore.
Who cares, right? But the environment that you're referring to is definitely real. But my point for Michigan, and it's specifically because Coach Moore has done this, if you can go to Columbus and you can go to Happy Valley and you can win on a neutral site against Alabama, there's no question you feel like you can go into USC, who doesn't draw a lot of fans, by the way.
Not anymore.
And Nebraska, or just about anywhere. Now, how many guys does he still have left over from that team? That's a fair enough debate. But he himself has done it by going in and being ready for it. And I think that's an advantage, for sure.
I am happy, too, about the second half. Obviously, we won't have him in the first half, but Barfield comes back in that second half, getting ejected from the first game. That's a whole nother can of worms in terms of the ejections and the tears for personal foul and targeting. I'm not making the excuse because it's Michigan. Look, if that's the rule, that is the rule. There needs to be levels of the rule. It needs to be like a flagrant foul in basketball.
I agree with you.
Like flagrant 1, flagrant 2. Like, you don't throw everybody out for everything. You go to the booths, you assess. You know what? This definitely was something extra. We'll call it a flagrant 1, whatever it is, and whatever that is. I don't know if it's 15 yards and he misses a quarter. Whatever it is, there can be something more.
100%.
Suspended him. Now he's suspended the second half of this game. Look for him in the second half to be that guy that comes in and kind of makes it. I'll be watching.
Why don't you just take over the NCAA for crying out loud? Because that, seriously, that makes too much sense for them to even do it.
Too much like right. That's what the old school is. Too
serious.
much like
it
right.
is. It's too much like right. By the way, Deion Burks, good player for Oklahoma, from Inkster, has come out.
Wide receiver.
Yeah, has come out and said,
Shout out to Inkster.
If you want to, the Vikings, Devin Gardner. What you say is, hey, listen, he wants this. Like he's looking forward to this. Not that it's built bulletin board material, but that's what he wants. And speaking of bulletin board material, maybe somebody from Green Bay provided some. We'll let you hear what he had to say when we come back here on the Braylon Edwards Show on Woodward Sports after this from BlackRock.
Keep an eye out on that wide receiver core for Oklahoma. I will say this. I don't know if I trust the quarterback or not. But that wide receiver core, including Burks, including Lewis, and including Kennick, there's some players. There's some players. But let me tell you about the real players.
That Q's got to get him the ball, though.
True. I was just pointing out that they can play.
Yeah.
That they can play if they got the ball. But you know who has the ball and wants to give it to you? And that's BlackRock.
Never drop the ball. They never drop the ball.
That's why they have this crazy package where you scan this QR code above my head and you can give yourself an opportunity to win a trip for 2. A tour for 2 in a helicopter ride around the city, man. Tell me you don't want to do that. And also it puts you in the contest to win 4 for opening day on September 14th. Isn't that dope? Isn't that cool? It's right around the corner,
That's
ladies
dope.
and gentlemen. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's right around the corner. Scan that QR code above my head. Also, it's the summer giveaways, but it's still BlackRock Grill. Bar and Grill. It is the summer of sizzles. You got to pull up, man. They got a brand new menu for you. But also, if you mention Woodward Sports, you get 20% off. 20% off. Sounds good to me, man. 20% off. What is that? $100 bill? That's $80 you got to pay. That's it?
Hey.
Come on, man. BlackRock, the place for you and me.
I feel like that's almost stealing.
It is.
It's kind of like going to Lady Jane's and getting the haircut and the whole experience.
Wicked awesome.
It's so cool. I mean, all you do is you come in, you sign in. Next thing you know, you'd like to sit down and relax and read the paper. You don't have to because there's so many different chairs, so many different lovely young ladies ready to help you because they know your time is valuable. In and out at Lady Jane's. And when I tell you they're open Monday through Sunday from 10 to 8, you'll be like, are you kidding me? It's true. It's just flat out true. That's the way they operate. They operate on your schedule because they know it's really busy. Check out Lady Jane's today. It is wicked awesome.
Planet Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new faith. New focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
Why do we fight? We fight to protect the innocent, to hold the powerful accountable, to bring the oppressors to justice. Why do we fight? We fight to secure and preserve our civil liberties, to get each and every one of our clients the justice they deserve, and to make the lives of real people just like you whole again. ThenFights.com.
Every Sunday, there's only one place to get all your kneecapping, hard-hitting Detroit Lions coverage. Start your Sunday with the Lions Weekly Report with Broder and Terry Foster. Then, the Lions pregame show with Neil Rule and Sean Belizean. At kickoff, keep it locked in for all the emotions of the game with a live watch party with the heavyweights. Then, recap the game with the Lions postgame show with Anson. Game days, there's no other place to be than Woodward Sports. Live all game day. Go Lions. Hunting season is almost here, Detroit, and your Lions are on the prowl. Make sure you're locked into Woodward Sports for all the Dan Campbell reactions, Jared Goff touchdowns, Amon-Ra first downs, Penny pancakes, Kirby picks, Gibbs big plays, and of course, Jack Fox's leg. Stay locked in on all your Lions coverage right here on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Ever wonder what goes on inside the game?
Deep ball's got a man and got him. Touchdown, Braylon Edwards.
Join Braylon Edwards and Shep.
Edwards has it. 10-5, touchdown.
On the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Barr looks in zone. Got Edwards for the touchdown.
Where they dive deep into the heart of sports. Weekdays from 2 to 4 p.m., they're bringing you expert analysis, exclusive interviews, and a fresh perspective on the sports you love. Don't miss it, only on the Woodward Sports Network.
Buddies.
Not going to lie, I come up with different reasons why our sales staff should go to Buddies and bring in Buddies Pizza.
Every day.
Ryan's brand new to the show. Shouldn't we welcome Ryan with Buddies Pizza?
That's a great idea.
like that.
Yeah. I think that's a really good idea. I'm not trying to be selfish. I'm trying to be actually very neighborly here because it doesn't get any better than Buddy's Pizza. They've created the category for the original Detroit-style pizza, and they've been serving it since 1946. If somebody comes from out of town, all right, let's say you've got family from out of town, and they don't know what a Detroit-style pizza is, what do? You take them to Buddy's. Am I wrong?
No lies told. You're not
absolutely.
Okay.
That's what it is. You take them to Buddy's. They got 22 locations throughout the state. Always a Buddy's Pizza near you. It is the cornerstone of the city of Detroit. Been here for 79 years. Dedicated community partner. Good people, and you can save 10% off your entire order by using this promo code. You ready? I mean, it's a good time to do it. It's Friday night. You're going to watch some football tonight. You're watching football tomorrow. Maybe you're going to a tailgate. So this is a perfect time to do it. Use this promo code, 10MEAL. That's 10 MEAL. Use that and you get 10% off your entire order. Go to the location nearest you. Go to buddiespizza.com.
Football season is here, which means you got to place those bets. And what a better place to start than Caesars Sportsbook. And you can bet up to $1,000 your first time up by using code Woodward1000 or just scan that QR code. But make sure you enter Woodward1000. If your first bet doesn't hit, you get that right back. Minimum bet $20, max $1,000. Download the Caesars Sportsbook app today, the official sportsbook of Woodward Sports. Use code Woodward1000 or scan that QR code on your screen, but make sure that you're using Caesar Sportsbook to get your bets in for the weekend, tonight, Saturday, Sunday, anytime you're watching football.
All right, and we bet.
Lions and Packers. A lot of discussion about this yesterday in the build-up to the first game of the year in which the Eagles beat the Cowboys. A lot of people jumping on that Green Bay bandwagon. That's fine. I don't have a problem with it. I understand why that a lot of people are questioning the Lions. I think they have a right to. I think you have a right to question every team. Look, I picked the Chargers yesterday when we went through this to win the AFC West. Kansas City's won that division 9 straight years. They've swept the Bolts 4 consecutive seasons. Is everybody aware of that? I was, and I still picked them. So if you're in Kansas City, you're going, hey, Shep, what more do I need to prove? So I get that.
You're disrespecting the Chiefs now?
No, I don't think it's disrespect. Maybe it's more respecting the Chargers, and I just figure at some point it's time to turn that page. When we get all butthurt over somebody not taking the Lions, I don't understand it. They've got a different opinion. That's fine. My question has always been why. Micah Parsons is a big reason why. You can understand. He's an elite player in this league. Would you want him on your team? You're damn right you would. Micah Parsons is already getting the feel for the Lions and the Packers. Listen to what he said this week about playing Detroit.
Honestly, bro, I felt like Dallas and Detroit already had a rivalry. I already got that rivalry built up. Bro, I'm excited to play them. I never liked Detroit. I never liked them. Even when I was in Dallas, it's just it was just always a heavyweight fight every time they came in, and they kind of got our guys when I was injured last year, or the whole team was injured. And so, I just think it's a funny way how things work. I'm excited to play them. I know they're excited, and it's going to go all 12 to 15 rounds.
That's great. I actually love it. He's with an organization right now that since Matt LaFleur took over in 2019, no franchise has more wins in the NFC than the Green Bay Packers. Okay? So there are some people who feel like he might be coach of the year. That's cool. Some people feel like Micah Parsons will be extremely motivated. I think Aiden Hutchinson will be motivated. I think Brian Branch will be motivated because last time he was at Lambeau, he was booted from the game. Do you remember that? Of course you do.
Double bird.
So what's your take on what Micah Parsons had to say about the Lions?
I didn't have a problem with anything he said until he was out, and then it was last year, and they did that when I was injured and my guys were injured. No, we did that when you were healthy the year before that. We did that the year before that too. They did that. Like you said, it was a heavyweight fight. Once he added that little bit, I thought that was a little petty, and it was a little, show of who he is. But I don't have a problem with it. This is what it is. Detroit and Dallas have a rivalry. If you don't believe that, you're a liar. Because who is the team we talk about the most in the NFL when we're not talking about the Green Bay Packers and Lions? We talk about what Dallas has done, what Dallas has been, what Dallas did, and what Dallas is able to do, and what we weren't.
Why do we do that when they haven't won anything in a long time, do you think?
Because the Lions have never won anything, so it goes back to 91.
No, I get the Lions haven't, but why would we be focused on Dallas when it's not like they're a threat to the Lions?
It's not about that, but it's about the things that have happened in the space of Detroit and the Lions. Whether it was us supposedly taking that jump in 91, and guess what? It was the Dallas Cowboys who took that jump. Whether it's all the things that happened in Dallas, whether it's the Pettigrew call, whether it's Dan Skipper reporting. It always seems like Dallas and Detroit have a little bit of something outside of a rivalry. So
yeah.
I get that. But now
Pettigrew being interfered with and not called.
Oh my God!
That's why I said Pettigrew.
Pick up the flag game.
That's why I said Pettigrew. But now he's in Green Bay. He literally went from one rival or one team that had a lot of overlap with Detroit for the past 30-plus years to another team that is directly responsible for Detroit having a lot of coming up short years, coming up short seasons, and has been the dominant, used to be the dominant team in this division. He goes to them to rectify them. He knows how to play the game. Like Micah's a podcaster. Micah knows how to say things at the right time. This is who he is. He understands how to use it, and it's also endearing himself to the Green Bay Packers. It's letting you know, I don't like the team that you also don't like.
He's
smart.
It's a way to endear yourself to fans. By the way, I thought about that last night in watching the game. There's so many things I wrote down here on my list that I wanted to ask you about. I could have just texted you, but you and Maz were pretty pissed off at each other. I would
say one comment.
That's an inside joke.
Yeah.
Would you want if you owned the team, or you were a coach, would you want your guys to host a podcast?
Yes, but we would have conversation. I'm not going to try to handicap my guys, but we would just sit out and talk, much like I guarantee you Dan Campbell and Amon-Ra St. Brown did. Hey, look. Hey, Saint. That's what he calls him. Hey, Saint, want you to do the podcast, man. I love the energy. I love the space. Let's just have a little sit down. Let's talk about some things that are off limits. Let's talk about some things we don't want to do because it'll put you and us in. We don't want to be in a precarious situation. Mm-hmm. I think that's what Dan did, and I think because Amon-Ra, he'll push the envelope.
Oh yeah,
he pushes the envelope. In fact, we've had conversations on was this interview and what was said here was a little bit too much. But yes, I would allow him to have it because it's 2025. Okay. Now, if I say no, now I got to deal with. This is a different temperament type of adult in 2025. So I'm not trying to piss him off, but we will sit down and talk about some rules and regulations of the pod.
I only get you for 15 minutes, so I got a lot of things that I want to talk about. Okay, just this is a neat one right here. Indianapolis Colts wide receiver Josh Downs. I don't know if he's on your fantasy team or not, but I think we all know who he is. Okay. Yep. When somebody asked him on a podcast, who's the toughest cornerback matchup he's had? His answer, Kool-Aid's going to love this. Brian Branch and Amik Roberts.
Yes,
he said the Lions secondary is good in all capitals.
Good.
Well,
great.
Come on.
Okay. I'll level.
You throw around the word great a lot more than most people really do. Okay? All right? You really do. I think it's the strength of the team. You and I have said this since before training camp started. Because you and I both are believers that Terrion Arnold, DJ Reed's an upgrade. But Terrion Arnold's really going to have a nice breakout, and they got the best safety combo in all of football. How much are they going to be tested, do you think, on Sunday? That's secondary, I mean.
I know exactly what you mean. I think they'll be tested a lot. I mean, there's some weapons over there. There's Dubes. There's the new Golden Boy and Matt Golden. And then there's also still Tucker Kraft, who's a pretty good tight end. A lot of upside to Tucker Kraft. Good hands, good athletic ability there. And then you have Josh Jacobs. You know, I like what they have. They also added some new offensive linemen to give Jordan Love a little bit more protection. I think Jordan is out to prove a lot. There's a lot of individuals that do not believe in Jordan Love, and there's a lot of people that don't believe in Matt LaFleur's. You know, I think it's a similar situation to Dan and Jared Goff. Mm-hmm. Like, they're looking at each other like, look, they don't believe in you, they don't believe in me. Let's go show them. Matt LaFleur's and Jordan Love, who spend a lot of time together, considering he's the offensive coordinator as well as, you know, the head coach. I think they're on that same tune. So you should be prepared. Like, this is going to be a really good game, a really good 4 o'clock game. Don't be surprised if, you know, it comes down to the wire and you see some exciting performances. They're a good team, and, you know, it's game 1.
Speaking of podcasts, Chris Collinsworth had Tom Brady.
Oh, my God.
Okay? I know.
Chris Collinsworth is such a...
Well, his son. How about his son? Oh, my.
This guy. Let me tell you.
His son's calling the Notre Dame football on TV. Yeah. But anyway, Chris Collins. It was a good interview, and Tom Brady was talking. Tom Brady's talking about Aaron Rodgers, and that Aaron Rodgers, in his prime, was the best quarterback there ever was. Ability to spin the ball and so on and so forth. And it got me thinking a little bit. The NFL is really smart. They've got Pittsburgh and the Jets. I don't know if people are aware of this, because we look at all these different matchups. Pittsburgh opens at the New York Jets, Jets, Jets. Aaron Rodgers left the Jets. I mean, that is not a random thought.
Cinema.
They know.
They knew exactly what was going. So everybody makes a big, and it's not like I'm a big Aaron Rodgers fan. He's 41 years old. I don't know if people remember this, but last year he threw for 3,900 yards, 28 touchdowns, 11 picks.
Yeah.
Who threw for more yards, him or Patrick Mahomes?
Aaron Rodgers.
Patrick Mahomes by 28. Who threw more touchdowns? Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers had 2 more touchdowns, so they had the same number of picks. Who threw for more yards, Rodgers or Josh Allen?
When you say Rodgers.
No, Rodgers.
Rodgers did.
Josh Allen was like 37, 15.
Right, 37-31. Very good. And they both threw the same number of touchdowns. Who threw for more yards, him or Jaden Daniels? Aaron Rodgers threw for more yards than Josh Allen, Matthew Stafford, Jaden Daniels, and C.J. Stroud. He threw more touchdowns than Mahomes, Allen, Stafford, Daniels, and Stroud. Actually tied Allen. And he threw 11 picks. That's fewer than Stroud and the same number as Mahomes.
You just proved my Steelers pick yesterday right.
I could be. I didn't try to do that, but that's the possibility. I'm not saying let's apologize for Aaron Rodgers, and I'm not saying he's going to lead Pittsburgh to a division championship or any type of wild card. I just find it interesting that the NFL has that matchup, and that the bottom line about Aaron Rodgers was he's too old, he can't move, he should retire. When you put up those type of numbers last year, don't you prove something to yourself that maybe I still have it, even if it's one more year?
Look, I can't play at 42, which he and I are the same age. We're in the same draft class. So kudos to my 05 brother, 100%. I can't do it. He's still doing it. Respect. Nothing but love. Hard stop. With that being said, I mean,
hard stop.
We'll see. Let me see it this year. That's what I want to see. Let me see it this year, because I can go back into what the last 8 games of the season were for Aaron Rodgers and who the competition level was, blah, blah, blah. Adding Devontae Adams, we can do all that. I will say he had more passing yards than most of his guys, because most of his guys are dual threat quarterbacks.
Correct.
And most of his guys, Jaden Daniels had 800 yards rushing.
Right.
So you get that. But
minus Stafford and Stroud. You're right about that.
And he outplayed Stafford, you know what I'm saying, took in the yards run. I want to see what it looks like this year.
Okay.
Because it was just so much inconsistent. There was the offensive line was bad, and then the running backs were good, but then the running backs were bad, and the offensive line held up a little bit. Then the receivers, they couldn't even get on the same page earlier. And he had Mike Williams from the Chargers, and he comes there, and he's lazy and not wanting to run the routes.
Adams.
And that leads, and then they get rid of Mike Williams for Devontae Adams, and now they got to get on the same page. Now Garrett Wilson is trying to figure out what the hell is going on. He still had 1,000 yards, mind you, last year, 3 years in a row for Garrett Wilson. So I just want to see what it looks like for the Steelers. He has DK Metcalf. He has a better offensive line apparently this year, and he has a defense. So let's see.
Okay, rapid fire for you guys.
Okay.
So everybody's paying attention, and then we'll get to some quick chats because before Braylon's got to get out of here, and then we got some baseball discussion on the other side. Quick thoughts on this. Ready? I just want to know the winner. I'm not talking about the spread. I just want to know the winner. All right?
Okay.
Chiefs and Chargers in Brazil, which is an absolute farce. Okay, can I just say that? Sidestep for a minute while you think about it. It's a farce that you're taking that type of division rivalry with Patrick Mahomes and Herbert, and you're putting it in Brazil. What a bunch of crap that is. Shame on them. That should be in Los Angeles. And I know they don't have a lot of Los Angeles Charger fans, but to put that in Brazil, I think is ridiculous. Anyway, all right, give me the Chiefs or the Chargers. Go.
Chargers.
Kool-Aid?
Chargers.
Ryan?
Chiefs.
Okay, I got Chargers. Okay, that's number one. Buccaneers and Falcons. The Buccaneers have, I believe, lost to the Falcons in each. I think they've lost the series in each of the last 4 seasons. I could be wrong about that. I got to double check that. But it's Baker Mayfield is not very good against Atlanta for some reason or another. Atlanta steamrolls them. Buccaneers at Atlanta. Who do you got?
Bucks.
Bucks?
Yes.
Bucks.
I'm going to take Atlanta in that one. All right? Just saying. Man, Michael Penix might have a big day. And love Bijan Robinson. Bengals at the Browns.
Bengals.
I'll go Bengals too, but remember their number. What I've kind of hammered home: 1-11 the last couple of since Zach Taylor has taken over in the first 2 weeks. That's not a good number. Dolphins at the Colts. This will be interesting.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. I'm first of all, I'm interested to see what the Colts do with Anthony Richardson, even though he's the backup. Daniel Jones might relieve himself all over his pants. This, it's a division matchup right away. So Dolphins at the Colts. What do you got?
Colts.
I'm still gonna go Colts.
Dolphins.
Yeah, I'm going Dolphins.
Taking Colts.
Wow. Okay. Raiders at the Patriots.
Patriots.
I like that.
I'm gonna go Raiders.
Pats.
I'm going Pats. I think Patriots are going to be a pretty good team this year.
That's Pete's first team. Oh, no, he was the Jets first.
Yeah.
Jets didn't pay out.
Cardinals at the Seahawks.
Do I trust the age-old conversation of is Kyler Murray going to get it this year? Or do you trust what Sam Darnold did last year under Kevin O'Connell? Give me my old team, man. Give me Seattle.
Hey, I'm in lockstep with you. I got them winning some games and making the playoffs this year.
Wait, I apologize. It's Cardinals at the Saints. Did I say Seattle?
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, I apologize.
That's easy.
Cardinals at the Saints.
Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cardinals.
Yeah, same here.
Yep. Clean sweep.
Steelers at the Jets.
Give me the Steelers. Give me the Steelers. I know my Jets fans are going to be pissed at me, but give me the Steelers.
Steelers here.
Steelers.
Aaron Rodgers, when it comes to, revenge, I think it's a dish best served cold.
Yeah.
Defense is good.
Aaron Glenn, man. Aaron Glenn might have something up his sleeve there.
Remember the conversation how Aaron Glenn kind of walked Aaron Rodgers out of that door.
Yeah.
I guarantee you that's stuck with Aaron.
Yeah, it might still be sticking with Aaron Glenn, too. I'm going to go Steelers, too, by the way.
Glenn was disrespectful if it came out exactly like it happened. Then that's more on Aaron Glenn.
Yeah, no question. You don't fly a guy all the way cross country just to say we're moving on.
You know what it is? It's like the Batman movie. What was that? The Dark Knight.
You're asking the wrong guy.
Where Christian Bale and Morgan
Batman
Freeman,
everything.
they fly all the way over to Tokyo just to tell him.
Yeah, Batman has no jurisdiction.
100%. But they fly all the way to Tokyo just to tell him. He said, we won't be taking this deal. I mean, obviously, we know it's for more, but I get you.
I trust your judgment, and if Kool-Aid's all over it, he already knows the line for the movie.
Right.
Giants at the Commanders. I think we're all taking Washington, aren't we?
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody taking the Giants? Okay. Panthers at the Jags.
You don't like Russell Wilson? I'm joking. This is the battle of '95.
Is it?
Both the teams came in inception in '95.
That's right.
Wow.
Carolina
I see what
and
you're
the
saying.
Jags.
Yeah.
That's a good drop.
Okay, give me. You know what?
Do it.
Give me the
Bryce?
Jaguars. I can't take Carolina. I can't take Carolina.
I thought you was gonna go Bryce, man. Let me go Panthers.
I want to, but I'm not that brazen. I'm gonna go with the Jags and Trevor Lawrence again.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Jacksonville. Yeah. You got them too, Kool-Aid?
I got the Panthers, man.
Do you?
I believe in the game against the Jaguars, who Trevor Lawrence hasn't really come through for me yet, and the belief I've had in him.
Mm-hmm.
I liked what I saw towards the later end of
Some
the season.
people think they're going
Bryce
to have a decent year. There's a consensus out there that they're going to be.
They
one
got
of the
rid
more
of their
improved
most
teams.
consistent wide receiver, even though he's a little older. But was it legit? Is he legit?
Is he legit?
Is he legit? They got rid of Adam Thielen.
So it's a great question.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Thielen signed with the Vikings. Titans at the Broncos. Broncos,
Yeah,
right?
blowout.
Broncos.
Okay. Niners at the Seahawks.
Niners.
Really?
I got them winning that division. I think they start strong.
Okay.
Sea bags for me.
CMC's probably gonna have. I want to.
Yeah, but remember, he might be questionable.
He showed up on an injury report after none, all like for the practice before.
Give me Seattle.
Okay.
Yes, Seattle.
Okay.
Gets really loud there, as we all know. I'll take San Francisco.
McDonald's defense. He gets it. He understands it though.
Texans at the Rams. I think that's a pretty good matchup.
It's
Very good.
It's the best matchup that you said so far.
Think so?
I think so.
Okay.
100%. Texans, and it's in Los Angeles, and Matt Stafford has the back injury stuff going on. Give me the Texans.
Texans defense tough, man.
Give me the
Love
Texans
Will
out the
Anderson.
gate.
Love Will Anderson.
Somebody told me to watch out for Nick Chubb yesterday, so
Yeah, I heard that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me the Texans.
Okay.
Texans. I think Stroud bounces back.
I like that.
All right. I'll be the lone
Texans.
descendant. I'll take the Rams.
Okay.
Ravens at the Bills. That's the best matchup of the entire weekend, with all due respect to the
That's the
Lions and
best one.
Packers. It's the best matchup of the entire weekend. The Ravens at the Bills. This is going to be awesome.
You guys, you can go first.
I'll go Bills.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh,
They're my
gosh.
Super Bowl picks.
I gotta go Ravens. And if it was the playoffs, I might say Bills. Regular season, I'm gonna say Ravens.
All right.
Bills.
Bills.
Last season, 4,172 yards passing, 41 tuds, 4 interceptions only, and he rushed for 800 yards and still didn't win MVP. Give me Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens.
Okay.
They also are going to win the Super Bowl.
Okay. It's because you don't like the Golden Boy. Vikings at the Bears. That's the Monday night matchup.
Nobody wins.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. Vikings at the
Vikings.
Bears.
Vikings for me.
Really, with J.J. McCarthy going into Chicago in the very first game, very first professional start. Interesting.
I'm going Bears. I think new energy with all of they've done. They won the offseason for like a 4th straight year. I'm going to say the Bears.
That seems to generally be the recipe for disaster for the Bears.
Yeah, exactly.
You think they won the offseason last year?
No, that's what just their fans say.
Oh, that's what their fans say. Yeah, you don't listen to that. Yeah, okay. I would take – I think this is a really hard matchup for J.J. McCarthy to start. So I'm going to take Chicago.
I'm just not as bullish as Chicago having their offense down pat to start the season, and I do believe that Minnesota's defense can be opportunistic against the Bears.
All right.
I accidentally have this color scheme on, but I'm going to pick it.
Oh,
Okay.
snap.
I'm going to take the Minnesota Vikings.
Oh, snap.
Little
Okay,
purple and gold.
one more before you get out of here.
All right.
It's obvious. The Lions of the Packers.
We did our our game by game for the Lions, and we didn't get into it today. I wish I would just go through mine now. I'll go through mine. That's how we'll leave. I'll go through my game by game for the Detroit Lions, which will have that game on it. Here you go. For the Lions, I hate Apple. Jesus Christ. Here we go. Packers, W. Bears, W. Ravens, L. Browns, W. Bengals, W. Chiefs, loss. Bucks, loss. First time in 3 years I'm going back to back. Vikings, W. Commanders, W. Eagles, loss. Giants, W. Packers, loss. Cowboys, W. Rams, W. Steelers, W. Vikings and Bears, W. 12-5 is
I think
I finally came up with.
I think we have the same picks. No, I'm serious. I got 12-5. That sounds like exactly the same picks as what I've got.
I think the only time they lose in division will be game 2 to Green Bay. They're going to win opening night.
Second
time they'll lose.
So you're at home. You're thinking they're going to lose.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got them on Sunday afternoon. Kool-Aid,
Yes,
Lions.
sir.
How many wins on the year, and what do you got Sunday?
Oh, yeah. I got the Lions 12 wins on the year, and Sunday I got a dub for the Lions over the Packers.
Okay. Ryan?
Yeah, I've said Lions 11-12 wins this year, and I think they win this one.
Yeah, I got them 12-5. I got them beating Green Bay, and that's the picks for this week on the Braylon Edwards Show. When we come back, we will do a little Tigers discussion. It's interesting that one specific Tiger was mentioned as one of the most important players in the month of September. You might be surprised who it is. That's next on the Braylon Edwards Show on Woodward Sports after this.
And you guys know what?
I know what.
It's college football season.
Yes, it is.
So you guys already know what to tune into, right? Ryan, why don't you tell the people what time that is? Because you always make sure that people understand that what's on the ad reading on the graphic, it will change.
Yeah, it's not supposed to say 7:15. It's 7:30.
7:30.
Let the people know, Kool-Aid.
Listen, and you guys got to stay tapped in because this is going to be a big season for University of Michigan. Hopefully, it's a decent season for Michigan State fans out there too. And I'm rolling with my Central boys. Shout out to Shep. Shout out to Ryan. It's going to be a decent.
What do you mean you hope it's a decent year for Michigan State? What does that mean? What the hell does that mean?
I tried not to look at Shep while I said that too. But Woodward Sports College Football Show hosted by that dude Justin Satawa and Haley Scott, who is climbing the charts. They're doing a great job already. Thank you guys to who's already supporting. But you want to stay tapped in with the best college football coverage you're going to get, man. Shout out. Let's go.
Planet Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new faith, new focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasto salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
The Super Bowl parade in Detroit will be one for the record books. Detroit just does it different. Woodward Sports, your official Super Bowl or Bust Lions network. Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon. Braylon Edwards and Shep Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you. The boys of summer are ready to get back to the playoffs, and there's no better place to get your Tigers coverage than Woodward Sports. Join us all season long as we follow as our hometown Tigers claw and fight. This ball is gone! Hunting season is almost here, Detroit, and your Lions are on the prowl. Make sure you're locked into Woodward Sports for all the Dan Campbell reactions, Jared Goff touchdowns, Amon-Ra first downs, Penny pancakes, Kirby picks, Gibbs big plays, and of course, Jack Fox's leg. Stay locked in on all your Lions coverage right here on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Okay, back with you on the Braylon Edwards Show Monday through Friday from 2 until 4. Some breaking news regarding the Tigers. Kool-Aid, before we get into one of the most important players in the month of September, according to one website, why don't you hit me with that breaking news, will you?
Yes. You guys already know Kyle.
No, they don't. It's breaking news.
I was
going to
tell them Kyle Finnegan has been doing this thing, and this is not what you want to hear. He's been placed on a 15-day IL injured list with a right adductor strain. Outfielder Parker Meadows has also been activated off the 10-day injured list, but you don't want to hear this about Kyle Finnegan at all.
Yeah, this is a big blow because here's a guy, since coming to town in 12 appearances, he's allowed just 3 hits, not runs, 3 hits, 3 walks, no runs over 14 innings. So he has been lights out at the back end of the bullpen. Now, can I ease your concern just a little bit? Can I do that? Can I help you with something? All right. Among major league pitchers with at least 20 saves this year, Will Vest ranks second in 9th inning ERA. His ERA in the 9th inning this year is 1.25. There's one guy who's got a better ERA in the 9th inning, and that is Aroldis Chapman.
Ooh.
Okay? So
it's just Vest and Chappie.
It's Chapman then Vest.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're concerned, look, Finnegan was helping you with the 8th inning. I think he had 3 or 4 saves, all right? He's helping you bridge that to Will Vest, who's got really wicked stuff. Tommy Canely pitched pretty well the other day, too. I'm not going to jump off, be jumping up and down on a trampoline thinking that he's back, but it was a positive sign as they get ready for the White Sox starting tonight. Bottom line is that is at least a little solace for you folks, knowing full well that you're going to miss Kyle Finnegan. And Kyle Finnegan, if you recall, on this show, he's one of those trade deadline guys I really wanted because I think he's really good. Now, I'm not saying he's, the second coming of Mariano Rivera or Josh Hader in the back, but on the past, during his prime. But I did think he would have been a really good fit, and it has turned out that way. All right, let me bring this up. This is according to CBS Sports, they listed the most important players for the month of September. Some of those are obvious names. One is Aaron Judge. Duh. One is Kyle Tucker. Duh. Cal Raleigh for Seattle. No kidding. Shohei Ohtani. Tell me something I don't know. Yordan Alvarez, who came back and has made a splash for Houston to a certain extent. Just for them to be able to do what they've done so far this year without Yordan Alvarez has been really impressive. Dylan Cease of the Padres and Casey Mize of the Tigers. And here's what they write. They write, Mize doesn't have to worry about free agency anyway, but the Tigers would feel a lot better about their own playoff rotation if he had a strong finish to the regular season. Amen to that. Whether it be Mize, Flaherty, or Morton, the month of September, and there's a few weeks left in the month, you'd feel really good if they had finished somewhat strong, considering Casey Mize, since the All-Star break, before his last start, since the All-Star break in 8 starts, had an ERA of 7. So that was handicapping him. And it says right here as well, A.J. Hinch, this is the thing that might concern some Tiger fans, but I have to argue with myself sometimes about this because it does frustrate me. They write, manager A.J. Hinch may have to get creative or aggressive with his bullpen anyway when he's tasked guiding the Tigers through a playoff start from Mize, Charlie Morton, or Jack Flaherty. Last year, we kept talking about it. People loved it, right? Because it's such a cute little phrase. Oh, bullpen chaos, pitching chaos. I suppose it shouldn't matter how I feel about the Tigers getting a win. Does it matter to me that Casey Mize pitched 5 innings, gave up 1 hit, and got a win despite throwing 69 pitches? That's what he did the other day. That was his last start, 69 pitches. As long as they get the win, what do I care? Why should it matter to me that they've got to go to their bullpen? So I struggle with that and in a battle with myself a little bit, thinking, you know what? All that should really, truly matter is that they got their 81st win. If they get to 94, 95 wins, if they get a 1 seed in the American League, which is probably what it would take, probably about 95 wins. Toronto's got 1 more win than Detroit does going into play tonight. What difference does it make? I thought this team would – I didn't think last year would be able to be duplicated. I didn't think it was a recipe for success. And we're all shaking our heads, but here's what I would remind you. The bullpen is different than it was the last year, for the most part. And if you've got the best strategic manager in baseball, which the Tigers do in A.J. Hinch, this dude is the best. He's the best manager there is. If you've got that, what do I care? Why does it matter to me that our starters outside of Tarek Skubal are going 5 or 6 innings? The bullpen is something you're going to roll over on a yearly basis anyway. Find me a team that has a bullpen 1 year and the same bullpen the next. Outside of Kansas City, when they had Wade Davis and Kelvin Herrera and in back-to-back years and won a championship, how many teams are flipping over their bullpens? You know what? They're all flipping over their bullpens. Because what you do with bullpen arms, you wear the hell out of them. Most teams do. You wear the hell out of them. Who would you rather be, the Tigers or the Mariners today? Mariners are on the outside looking in. And they've got a hell of a lot better starting staff than the Detroit Tigers do.
Talk about it, bro.
You know?
Yeah.
So if they've got 4 starters that I'd love to have, and I like Hancock too as well, but he's a young guy. If they've got 4 starters you'd love to have, and the Tigers have 1, but the Tigers have the better bullpen, what difference does it make? As long as this guy, A.J. Hinch, is making the decisions on who's pitching against who and when they're pitching.
Yeah, you're right, Shep. I mean, we can plug and play any pitchers in that bullpen that we want outside of a Tarek Skubal day where he goes 6, 7 innings. But I mean, other than that, I mean, you kind of looked at the start of one of the games against the Astros. Our starting pitcher, I believe, was like Bo Brisky, and he went maybe 1 1/3 inning, and he just was pitching chaos the whole time.
Yeah, he was an opener. Yep.
If we can, kind of mix in the right ingredients of a day where our pitchers can go 6 or 7 innings, and then we have a pitching chaos day every now and again.
Well, that's not the pitching chaos, Ryan. 6 or 7 innings is not pitching chaos.
No, what I'm saying is we can mix in days where it is pitching chaos, and then we mix in days where we go the distance with our pitchers.
Right.
Not 6 or 7 innings, and then we throw in pitching chaos.
Yeah.
No.
It's really too bad that in today's baseball we think going 7 innings is legit and the real deal, and it's frustrating to me. All right, let's get to the mailbag here on the Braylon Edwards Show. Unfortunately, Braylon had to catch a flight, so he's out. You're dealing with me for the next few minutes. Love to hear from what people had in the chat and if there's anything in the mailbag. Kool-Aid?
Oh, yeah, there's definitely some stuff here in the mailbag. I think people are stoked, not scared for this weekend as it relates to the Detroit Lions.
Does that surprise you?
Not at all.
No, me either.
Not at all. Hey, but the first question, Michael Wary, shout out. He's the one that definitely gets the people to smash that like button. He says, how many combined yards do you all think Monty and Gibbs will have versus the Packers?
I think they're going to expose Green Bay's middle of their defensive line. So I think Detroit's going to have well over 100 yards rushing. I like where his head is at. We focus so much on Jahmyr Gibbs. You're going to see Gibbs. We already know this, right? In Packers, everybody reading it. You're going to see him in the slot. You're going to see him flexed. Montgomery's going to be more involved than I think people realize. I think he's going to have a nice day. He is a grinder, man. I love that dude. I love what he brings. I think Detroit's going to rush for over 120 yards. Now, here's the caveat to that. The caveat is if they get behind early, they're going to have to throw the football. Okay? But I truly believe they're going to be committed to the run because they're going to believe in their guys, and rightfully so, and because they're going to expose Green Bay's belly of their defense. And I'm sure Green Bay's thinking about the same thing. But I'm going to say combined, those two guys, not those two guys combined. I'm talking about overall. I think Detroit total will have somewhere in the neighborhood of 120 yards rushing.
Yeah, I think that's a safe place to go to. But I want to be even more bullish about the running, but I know that they also use them a lot in the passing game, where I do believe you will see the running backs approach even greater, maybe even 200 combined, maybe 170 combined yards. I would not
Total
be
yards,
surprised.
running? So
Total
running
yards.
and passing? Okay, running and receiving?
Okay. Yep, 170 out the backfield.
Yep. Well, maybe that's one of those things where here comes Micah Parsons and Jared Goff sidearms at right side. Jameer Gibbs, and he's out with a pulling Christian Morgan.
Get me fired up now, man.
That'd be nice, man. That'd be really nice.
That just sounds awesome.
Yeah, Kool-Aid's the guy you got to stay away from when you're watching the games because his elbows are flying everywhere, right? His elbows are flying. All right, anything else from the chat?
Yes.
Thanks for the chats, by the way.
Thank you guys for sending these chats. And I honestly never stand active all entire show, man. So shout out. Jason Kenyon, he says, mailbag. Do you really think Parsons is ready for the true hate in this rivalry? The Battle of the D is nothing compared to basically the Packers and Lions. He says Lions offensive defensive lines smokes Green Bay and leaves the little Chihuahua dogs shaking and broken. So he doesn't believe. He thinks that Michael Parsons is probably trying to talk himself up. That the Dallas one compares not at all to the Packers, and he's about to get his.
Do you think there's hate between Detroit and Green Bay? I'm not talking about the fans because that's pretty obvious. You don't like the cheeseheads. They don't like the the mains. That's fine. Do you think players feel that? Micah Parsons, can he feel that quickly? I don't think it's the same as college. Look, David Montgomery, did he hate the Lions while he was with the Bears? Did Don Majkowski hate the Lions when he played for the Packers and then came to Detroit? I don't know if that's real. I think it depends on the individual. I think you get could this rivalry, could he muster up enough hate like he had with Dallas and Philadelphia? And my guess would be yes. And even if he can't, even if it doesn't match that emotion, to me it doesn't matter. I think he's going to be ready to play. I think he's going to be stoked. All the workout videos we see of him in practice does not look like he's got a man bothered by a bad back.
Not at all.
So I think he's going to be an absolute pain in the tail to deal with, just like Aiden Hutchinson will be for Green Bay. So it's a good question. We appreciate the mailbag. We always appreciate the chat. You guys are awesome. We hope you have a great weekend. Ryan, thank you. Kool-Aid, thank you.
Ryan.
For Braylon Edwards, I'm Matt Shepard. We're back with you Monday, 2 till 4 here on Woodward Sports. Can't wait to talk about a Lions win in Green Bay. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the games, everybody.
Ever wonder what goes on inside the game?
Deep ball's got a man and got him. Touchdown, Braylon Edwards.
Join Braylon Edwards and Shep.
Edwards has it. 10-5. Touchdown.
On the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Bar looks in zone. Got Edwards for the touchdown.
Where they dive deep into the heart of sports. Weekdays from 2 to 4 p.m., they're bringing you expert analysis, exclusive interviews, and a fresh perspective on the sports you love. Don't miss it, only on the Woodward Sports Network.